9:30. I get you. We can continue on this one again. Yeah, get it like speed quicker. Yeah, we got another two. I think another 2 weeks. Yeah, I think that one is on December 2. Yeah, so we're gonna get this one really quickly. No, yeah, no. I'll go. No, not right now. 9:30 because they do the this with mopping and those things on
The
the
Wanderer
lobby.
returns.
Yeah. Oh, that one later. Oh, I got some.
You're looking to park there. That's a nice fur.
Or extra camp. Yeah, sometimes you can pick it up the camp good. You have received a letter from Madam Nazar collecting the letter from the camp. Oh, they from Nazar. Yeah, I think what these guys is they're adjusting the time of the spawning of the gypsies campsite. Yeah, they don't want to bring it all the time, so maybe there's even but you have to figure out the daytime. Yeah, these guys don't have it. Let me check in the map. Yeah, let me check the map. There was what was that thing here? We won't go to this crate thing, the milk crate kind of thing now till I check my lockbox first. So that makes it a little bit better. Because I always just confuse it for mine. Yeah, right out here somewhere. Let's see. Let's check the map. See if Naz. Oh, there's a thing right here. That one we'll wait it out later. That's good. We're in that area that has that. Now we can do looting. See, that's the thing what I kind of like when we have to loot. We don't need to loot it all the time when we go to the other one. Unless if you go inside, you're looking for it and you can't find it, you can loot it till you find it. Yeah, you can do that. That's winter. But you got more option here now. Yeah, like this. Now you can loot the whole thing. Yeah, so that's not bad. So we can reduce it, but still we have to reduce all these guys. We're gonna remove it, then it won't be there like a natural supposed to be looting kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. I'll put in the YouTube clip. Yeah, I'll put in the YouTube clip about the out about and in the game. Kind of, yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, but I'm not correcting for other people that have the issue on this. Yeah, I'm just doing for me and that who's yes, my podcast. Not all the people. Because I don't know. I don't want. They want to do their own setting up kind of thing like that. Oh, yeah, let's see where the... Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, there's nothing here. Yeah, they'll go all the way up to the little creek right there. They'll go all the way up to there. Right up to there. Yeah, sometimes I set up the base. There's good pelts up there. Second from the swampy area and up there's no bad you just running just straightforward back and forth on that one. Yeah, there's good stuff, good animals up there. Not all the stuff, but just yeah. I don't see that. I think we need to move around till it spawns on you. Yeah, I want to show you now. But as long as it doesn't overlap any other circle, yeah, like this, that one, so then you should be okay. Yeah, they got all the opportunity if they want to add more, bit more. Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, this one they don't need to because they got the buffer zone here. If they, yeah, that's all mountains. Yeah, they got a little bit option here because that's the river. Yeah, they can go down here and build some few stuff here, here, if they want. Yeah, just on the edges a little bit. Yeah, a little bit here. Yeah, I think they're finally mostly got everything there. Yeah, or either here or the here. Yeah, they want they can go up to here because it's a flat. Yeah, they can go much up here. Yeah, it's Fallout 76. Yeah, they can. We're trying that. We're trying to move on the Wheel of Fortune one, but they didn't. I was there. Yeah, they're trying to get me to get back because they got the trick or treat one. I missed it. I missed the trick or treat one. I'll put it. I'll put it sometime. You can listen to the talking one. Yeah, sometime I will. But yeah, because or else they're not gonna. They will come because because they just think that will slow them down. Yeah, they'll keep them on the feet to do the YouTube and invite. The invite is just the respect and everything. They can then they can see you. They can come to your base. Yeah, they click on your base. They can see how your base. They can modify your base and everything. Yeah, they really need me badly in there because you need someone to keep on modifying their bases with it. Yeah, I'm one person short or more people short. They know I'm doing exactly. Then I can keep if I'm within that distance, I can keep modifying as much as more than other time without it that kind of thing. So you have to take care of them. Yeah, when there's nobody only here, not at the home. Never go to their home. Yeah, oh yeah, because they got guard dogs and those things over there. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, so yeah, so I just it's a slang way of the modifying in this one. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes good, but that one you need a webcam. But basically, it needs to be a shoulder kind of like that in there. You can have it. You can have the shoulder cam. Yeah, these guys have the camera kind of thing in the game. Yeah, so okay, we don't see the right now. Oh, let's check this. Yeah, let's check this one. Oh, we can click it. Because, yeah, we don't need to unless if they had to put something in there, then they will. But no, we don't need to because it has everything. But unless if they want us to read it, but kind of figure it out. Okay, well, let's see what things they had. What things would it be? A trade sale. This month, trade can look. Yeah, traders can look forward to boosted reward and yeah. Some of them now read it. Some of them you can just read on your own. Yeah, it's like bonuses for keeping their inventories. Inventories are yearly kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. That we were talking one time about. Well stocked and contributing to the season of unity. Graduate gradually, I think gradually or something, and abundance. Stock up perfect carcasses, pelts, skins, and hide to earn 2 XP material. Sell your goods and enjoy 2 times RRDOS. That's a dollar sign on that. XP and roll XP on all trade sale. Yeah, this is all in that one. Let's go to this one. Yeah, this one's trade. Yeah, trade is on that one too. Same thing, I think. Yeah, December 2. Yeah, you'll also unlock the rack road boost. Yeah, that's the other one. I don't know. Free roaming event and mission offerings 50% RDOS dollar sign and XP bonus for playing in the posses. Oh, you can do in the posses too. Yeah. Yeah, the posse when you do it, yeah, you get more than that. Yeah, if they do invite, yeah, we should go into that one too. Free roaming, the free roaming. Let's see, in the free roaming event. Yeah, but you have to be in the 2 times, and then you go to free roaming in the same. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, let's see. I think that free roaming. There is a free roam. Yeah, there's a posse one here. What would this say? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, this is a posse. Yeah, the posse event. Yeah, I know that's the thing. Let's see. Yeah, I know you want to. Yeah, not right now, but quick join. Yeah, there is a quick join here. You got the takeover, shoot, future, eliminations, series. Yeah, I'm reading half of that. Yeah, story mission on call. Series. What is this one here? Make yourself available to join others in the story mission. Oh, you can, yeah, this one, yeah, you need to get them, yeah, up to date on that. online option, or that's just that one? What is that? I think that one, the pre-roaming machine, I think everything's in this one. Yeah, just trying to figure telegraph. Yeah, you do the telegraph thing, yeah, because so you want something that to do. What is it? A batch of telegram offering hardcore co-op job. Co-op job. Yeah, I don't know if it's sent from an unknown source. That is all unknown source. Now we can try this one. But
did I ever tell you I briefly trained as an acrobat in Portugal? I think it's one of the reasons I've stayed so spry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
He's a strange man. Claimed to be a mute, but talked in his sleep.
Animal trumping, we'll do that all the time running by. That's okay because with biggest fish caught. Okay, we did. That's it. Final racing series. Finish race in a race series. We should do that sometime just to get the sense of catch fish. It's a lure. We'll do the jump into a horse from a 3-meter height. Yeah, we did that sometime, but yeah, I know. We'll try that. Yeah, we'll try that sometime. Next, visit a shop in. Oh, last time we didn't go there because when we got something easy, something to do, we should go ahead that way, and then we can do a quest line there. Kill 3 wolves. They did get the wolf one this time in this one, Is that the one we can do? We can do the strawberry one. Strawberry one. Strawberry one. I think we can go that way, and then we'll try to figure out how to work. Unless if you send me a pelt like we did, and coming back time. Okay, let's see what time it is. I'm gonna get ready for the. Let me put that. Let me eat something here. Oh, right. Let's put the recipe here.
Help yourself to some stew, by the way. It won't win any prizes, but it fills a hole.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I won't eat it right now. Yeah, we have to wait and let it simmer for. Like my mom does. The fox was the fox over there. Okay. Let's go to this one. Sometimes you go to story mode. Yeah. See how not this one. Oh, yeah, later on. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out. How do we manage to watch they didn't have it. You have to do it on the this one. You have to do it on the certain time. I don't want to show you too much on this one because this is this one here. But that one you have to purchase it. Yeah, so I didn't purchase it right now. So this is a good kind of telling the story that we already have it in 2. Yeah, you know how long it takes us. Yeah, we were at that mansion down the Mattis. I forgot the name there. Yeah, this one says winner of the over 175 games of the year award, 1 reception over 250 perfect scores. Read Red Redemption 2 in the Spectacle in honor and loyalty on the down of the modern age. Play the game. Yeah, I know. I just want to quickly read that one. So, okay, I'm gonna get ready on the check the lockbox mailbox. Yeah, let me get ready. Then I will play a little bit more, and then at 9:30 I'll go check it. I checked, with the parents starting 9:30 and then all the way up to 9:50. Yeah, 9:50. Yeah, I was checking at 9:50, so you guys worker open because I get the stuff in my mailbox. Yeah, that time before the old time before it got into Metro Town kind of way. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, I was gonna put the motion picture was on in this one, but it doesn't show. You have to come the opposite direction, then you can watch it. It's like it shows the story mode, with everybody, the characters in it. Let me see if I can. I don't want to go to Las Vegas one right now. Once in the lifetime, right? I don't go. Sometimes these guys know very, very well. Oh, it's electric light for that other guy. Yeah, this one's yeah. They're taking me to the yeah. I don't want to disturb them. I don't want to take anybody to yeah. Just get that one. Yeah, because this I know Bogota e-bike wants to get into, but these guys are doing the province in the States one. But no, I don't want them to keep on. Yeah, you think might be there, might be guys head up to there. But always take your parents with you. Yeah, if it is yeah. Because sometimes this is just I'm possessed within that guy who's driving the Pogo Tricer because he can tell from the skin is tan. Yes, the skin is tanned on him. Yeah, the skin is tanned. But so what kind of skin is tan? Like if I possess like that haunted or ghost monkey kind of like yeah exactly. Yeah. Oh, he's Bud Spencer, Lord Costello's, Fred, Abbott, and Costello meets the Keystone Cops. Cop. K-O-P-S. Cop.
Words got out to the wrong
Yeah, that's a
people.
different niche. I know. And 1995. No, 1995. No, 1955. Ah, youth year. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That is a youth year. Yeah, that's a youth year. 1995. Wait. 1995. It's past it. Yeah, past it. Maybe when the glazing travel years buys you, maybe traveling or something, maybe there, maybe or something. Yeah, Abbott's was yeah, figure. This is from the YouTuber called Mr. Valentine. Mr. Valentine, 12 hours ago. 12 years ago. yeah, it's 12 hours ago. Yeah, Mr. Valentine. Yeah, just like that. That's the town, yeah, that one. This reminds me. This reminds me of what was the girl's name? I forget his name. I'm kind of forgetting. Yeah, and Fallout 76. She used the teddy bear there. And there it says alien kidnapped a 10-year-old girl. Teddy bear. So she showed them why even every human. Yeah, so try to get the teddy bear back. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. You have to go through all those things here, amazing, to get the teddy bear back. Yeah, this is the result. This one's a fractional firmament with the NID, say, one day ago. Yeah, yeah, I know, tongue twisting. But sometimes they put initial. You don't need to read it just to give the initial side. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just doing the just.
You know, I once traveled with a circus not far from here.
Let me put the YouTube on. Then get ready with this. What is this stuff? Top 10 electric wheel. Let me see some other ones here. I know Abbott Costello wants it. He didn't come out for a while. Yeah, Abbott Costello came out now. Yeah, he wants to. Yeah, I know I should describe him, then we can move forward on that. See, you feel
Hey guys, to help around the forums, host the website, and travel, we've introduced a universal service fee for in-depth coverage, including this video. The goal is to be transparent and unbiased. This is not an endorsement. It's a privilege to serve you. Let's get into it. Hey guys, what's going on? So I am here with the M2S All-Terrain Scout. And let me tell you, I thought I'd have a great idea by going out and scout out some new territory here along the Jordan River.
Look at you, you're in a boat.
Look at
yeah, maybe there's a...
and a little bit otherwise. But there's a lot of fun stuff here that I haven't been able to explore because most of the time I'm here
exactly.
on some kind of road bike or hybrid bike. But this time I get a real good opportunity to explore with a stubby little fat tire bike that I'm excited to show you more of. So let's get into it. Alright, so M2S is an electric bike company with the initials M2S that stands for Mountains to Sea. And it's definitely a off-road kind of a vibe that you get there. Now this bike is equipped with some commuting accessories, more or less. It's got the fenders, the lights, the rack, it even has a front basket, but it is capable of doing some off-road exploration like we're doing here. And as a matter of fact, we're going to head into the bushes in there and see what else we find. So we'll explore a little bit together. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to go along the trail for a little bit. Maybe it'll connect up top to the pedestrian trail. Maybe it'll go back in. But this is a bike that can do both of those things if you kind of know what you're getting into, which is fun. So let's go ahead and start up front with one of the highlights, and that is the 4-inch wide tires. Now this is on a 20-inch diameter for a wheel, but the tires are pretty fun. They also add a little bit of cushion. So the bike has no suspension in the rear. It does have a suspension up front, and combine that with the fat tires, and it's not so bad. If you stand up on the parts where it gets rough, say if you're going over like a little branch or something like that, you know, it's not so big of a deal. But you could soften that up. We'll get to that in a little bit. One thing that's kind of fun that I'm using today is the fenders. There's a couple of puddles that I went through. But these fenders are metal, and I like the metal fenders because once you set them up, they're steady right from the get-go. So this is an RST guide front suspension. So that's a specific front suspension that is wide enough to handle 4-inch wide tires. And of course that has a 135 millimeter travel between top to bottom. So it's not like, you know, a serious mountain bike. I mean, obviously it's got fenders and stuff like that, but it's not like a serious mountain bike suspension. It doesn't have a huge travel, but you know, you don't need a ton of that because you get a fair amount of cushion from the tires itself. And also this isn't a bike that you probably take downhill. If you do, let me know how it goes because that'd be fun, I'm sure. But this fork is actually kind of cool. It has a lockout up here that I used when I was on the road to get to the Jordan River. I used a lockout so it'd be a little bit more efficient. Not so much compression when I was braking all the time. It does have 32 millimeter stanchion diameters, which is pretty wide as well. This does have, you know, it's kind of standard equipment, 13 gauge spokes, 135 millimeter hub spacing for the fat tires. But let's talk about the stem. So it does have an adjustable stem with about 100 millimeters worth of reach, and you can adjust that stem. Let's go ahead and show you that. There's a little tab right here you pull down, and then with your thumb pull up, and then from there it'll give you just enough to change the axis of that part of the stem. So you can change it fairly high. I actually like it kind of high when I'm on a bike like this. Latch it down. You can move the display out of the way as well if you'd like. The handlebars have a little bit more of a sweep to them to kind of sweep back and meet you, so they're a little bit comfort. And that's of course combined with the comfort grip. So I think that's kind of one of the other main purposes of the bike. So it's called the Scout. So we're here scouting around. You know, that's great. However, I think the comfort is another thing they're going for. The fat tires are comfortable. The front shock is nice and comfortable. The sweep back handlebars, the grips. Also the seat is fairly plush. So if you wanted to get this bike for comfort, I don't think you would be disappointed at all. It's a really good bike for that purpose as well. On the front, or on the controls rather, are the brake levers. These are good brake levers because they go to the Tektro disc brakes. And of course these are mechanical disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors. I'll show you that down here. So this is the front, and hopefully the shadows aren't too tough. But this is a 180 millimeter disc coming into the mechanical disc brake right here. And I like mechanical disc brakes myself. They're pretty easy to fix. This mechanical disc brake also has a bell that is built into the lever right there. It's kind of hidden. You might not notice. Even if you own the bike for a little while, you might not even notice what this little tab does. There's a little tiny bell they got built in, which is pretty cool. You have brake inhibitors coming out of here. That's also a cool safety feature.
I'm keeping the YouTube live. Yeah, I'm keeping the YouTube like the other way. Not inviting me here.
In which it sends an electric cutoff signal to the motor.
Even though they
to
would
stop the
start
motor
making
from
that.
engaging.
Yeah,
Anytime
it
you
started
pull on the
holding
brake
that.
levers, even if the brake would disconnect, if you pull on that lever with the motor cable connected, it won't disconnect any power going from the motor as you pull on the brake levers. So that's a safety feature that's kind of neat. One thing about it is that when I was putting the bike together, there's these little cups like so. And I actually left them off of the bike. These little cups, there's a few of them that come with it, but you get some extra ones if you wanted to clean this up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying that right now because or else we're not gonna see what other the ones that become in my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's the thing.
Clean it up because there's a lot going on right there, and especially if you have some tall kind of cargo, maybe something pointy like a small batch of flowers or something like that.
We just can survive with those. I'm already there. Those are massive. People just beginning to get in there, or they say because they don't know what some people doesn't get to a little bit, and then when they get nothing to them.
One cool thing about it is that up here you have waterproof
just what
connectors.
9:15 right now. Yeah, everybody's out in the display,
the throttle, and anything up here. So that's pretty cool. The stem is actually fairly high because it's kind of a stout bicycle in the first place. So you see that the head tube up here doesn't come especially high. It's kind of
maybe real is good because the way
seat post tube, which is down a little bit smaller. So you do have kind of a raised angle a little bit. But the bigger thing is that this bike is kind of small, and I mean small to the ground. It fits just fine. I mean, I'm slightly taller. I'm about 6 feet tall in the morning, and my legs are 34-inch in seat. So I fit the larger bikes on most occasions, but I didn't feel too bad on this one. One part of it is because of features like that. The other one is because I like to throttle on a bike like this, which you'll go along with me on the ride, and I think you'll enjoy it. So the frame does have a pretty cool shifter right here. I think that's kind of one thing you're going for with this bike is for someone who's a smaller rider. They can get their leg up and in here super easy. They don't got to get their leg going around the back. And also it's fairly low, adjustable with the points here, so you could get this bike to fit quite a few different people, which is pretty cool. I like the paint, the matte grade paint. I saw it on the internet and I thought it looked a little boring, but when I saw it in person, it has kind of a shine to it. I think it rounds out the bike pretty well. Definitely looks better in person than what I was expecting. So coming up to the seat, this is a 30.4 for the seat post diameter. Go ahead and stitch that down with one hand. Super scale. Awesome. And that's coming up to the standard railing for the seat. The seat is fairly plush. I mean, it's not plush in the sense of like a stuffed animal, but it's got some gel in there that's very comfortable. Put it that way. It's from Cell Royale, and it's the brand model called Look In. They mean like look into it. You can see some L. Pretty cool. Some air door.
It's a fold up.
But truth be told, it is a pretty comfy seat. It has some tiny little spring in there. Something that would kind of soften this up is if you had a suspension seat post right here.
Without putting
Then you have a really cozy ride with the tires, the front suspension, the handlebar geometry, everything. With one of these guys and the saddle that's already on here that's great, then I think you'd have a pretty plush ride. So on the front you do have a 24-tooth chain ring on the front. And that's a fairly smaller size compared to a full something like this. It works out pretty well. It's coming into what I believe is a zinc covered chain, which is good for repelling rust. And that comes into the 14 to 28 tooth Shimano cassette in the back. So you have, in all honesty, a fairly narrow gear range on the 7-speed there. It's not going to be something that's going to be super fast as you're pedaling it to keep tension.
I don't know if there's going to be just 1, 2, 3, 4 cards on it or a bit more. You could still add a bit more to it, right at the very top. Just fill it up a bit more. Or else just shift it and get the best one out of it. That's all they're giving out. I don't see any more.
12 gauge spoke for the ones in front are 13. So this rack is actually a bolted-on rack, which is great because it's very obviously made for the bicycle.
You click it and if you see another on the same one, I think Ford's the limit in here.
And the rack does have some wiring coming up for the rear light, which is integrated into the main battery. This rack is kind of cool because it has the larger tubing right here for a pannier bag, but you also have the thinner tubing in your bags, or the pannier bags has a really tiny hook to get over that smaller tubing right there instead of the bigger tubing on this one. One thing it is lacking, however, is one of those little spots down here, which a lot of panniers have the hooks hook on here, which is great, and then there's a little secondary hook to kind of keep it stable from flopping around. But there's not a ton to hook it onto. I guess you can get on this little island here if you got the right combination of
just when you're trying to head to that, you make it time to go when you go to the bounty hunting.
And single side as well.
Keep it travel
The double sided with
my sister, my siblings one is in my other jacket, 920. It's in my other. My sister. It's like an iPod that you can turn it just flip. It's a small one.
They flop over the top and you can get
keyboard.
Pretty easy.
You flip it and then
the keyboard. Definitely gets you outfitted with something that will fit this rack because it's a fairly common width as well. Fenders on the back, which is pretty good. It's always interesting when you see a bike that has only one fender on the front or the rear, but in this case, they definitely got you hooked up there. So this basket is kind of neat. I'm told it has about a 25-pound weight limit. Now it looks fairly strong, but in actuality, I wouldn't put something terribly heavy in there. So I think the 25-pound limit that M2S has stated is right on the money. Because it has the middle piping for the circumference, I suppose, or the outside. And it's also metal on the inside for this stripe right here. However, this end, this is plastic. Also has this little spot for a cup if you wanted to carry, you know, a Slurpee or something like that with you. So I think if you trim that away yourself, of course this is all your own doing and everything, but if you trim that away, you could probably get a little bit more in there. But I think that this is kind of a good idea because it limits someone from putting like a big, you know, 50-pound bag of sand or something like that in there, because this would kind of push it out of the way. But getting into the electric system, start up at the tippy front, and this is the headlight. So this headlight's actually kind of neat because the basket, you can actually mount the basket on or you can leave it off. And the light actually can do either. So the light has some extra wiring, some extra length of wire, and it comes bolted into like right in there in that spot. But if you wanted to more go to the basket, you can take this guy off. So you can actually put the light on either way.
Yeah, and then one down and then another one and then another one. If there's a range, but this is just a browsing area. This is just a, yeah, the gorge is right there. So it should be hunting ground, should be out. This is just a sightseeing. Yeah, unless if you're going to go down there, you have to hunt over there, but otherwise this is
a little bit
sightseeing.
further up front, you have the display.
There's
Go ahead and show you how to use that. It's a display that's somewhat common. You see it around from time to time. But it has a lot of features that tells you everything right from the get-go. So it has a remote attachment on the left side with three simple buttons, plus, minus, and power. Go ahead and press the power button.
Sheep, cows, or something like that. Yeah, unless it is good, otherwise they won't
pedal
give it to
assist
you.
level's right there in the middle, surrounded by that box. Pedal assist level 1 boots up, and you can press the plus button or the minus button to increase or decrease the pedal assist levels 1 through 5.
This gives you a little bit of a good way on the days when we
giving you assistance. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing 90% of the time. But if you're like one of those detailed people, then you can press the power button, and that will cycle through different metrics that it's counting, such as your average speed, your max speed.
On those days, how they like there was a result in Uno, yeah, how they go and build the house and you get it, or otherwise you don't get that land kind of thing. See how, because that way they want you to do farming right away. Because that's free, yeah. They want you to get your head going. Like a rich media, put it there, and what you could you put under your land kind of thing, or you know like that. And once they set it, then they could paint the road or whatever the road in a right way. Maybe you're trying to do the graphic kind of kind of that way. Yeah. And multiple too, yes.
The plus and minus button.
Yeah, so that's
and then
how.
I press the power
So that's how
button
you
and
have to get the once you get it in.
settings.
Yeah, they build it, but sometimes they'll fall down
If
sometimes.
you press and hold the plus button, that will turn on the lights, both the backlight for the display, which of course we can't see right now because it's broad daylight.
When you do it, you have to go way before the springtime. Yeah, not the winter. They get it, and you're way out of it. You have to,
in the back of the bike. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
I press and hold the plus button, and I'll turn it back off again. And if
Oh, he's sitting there. Maybe see if you can sit on the other chair. Oh yeah, okay, here. Oh, this is I think this is the food. That one here. This one you eating. This one you just reading. Yeah, I need to get the bow and arrow. That's a shot. Because the other one ammo goes quickly finish, so I can.
check that out? That is on the agenda,
yeah, because I want to see what they, there. This is not result picture. It doesn't look result. Yeah, but
and the man may show up. I don't know. I'm just out here because, you know, got nothing better to do. It is Halloween weekend. It is a Saturday before Halloween, which falls on a Tuesday. So, we may see some costumes out here. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. First, we got to get through LA Live, which there's something going on here. There's always something going on here, but something big going on tonight. Concert. Well, we got something coming. We're both not supposed to be driving here. Let's go this way. I think we can careen through here. It was pretty crowded. Let's try and squeeze our way through the, as low-key as possible as you can be on this bike. Alright. Hope we made it. Always something going on here. This is the most well-lit part of downtown LA with these huge, obnoxiously bright billboards. And we got a full parking lot here, Staples Center. See if we got any homies here. Yesterday I came here and there is, oh, we saw Thrasher for a second. Other than that, we didn't see anybody. Dang, it's bright too. That is just, oh my god, can you guys tell through the camera how bright that is? It's crazy. We got Dirt Biker. Yep, he's ready for 12 o'clock action right now. He's just having a ball, man. Hey, good for him. Not much going on that side of the city. Didn't see anybody. Yeah, we knew. I guess we'll just wait for the text message. We're still about an hour away from that ride starting, so that ain't gonna happen for a while. How you doing? Hey, Scooter? You want a race? Let's go. At the lights? Yeah, not much of a race. We gotta take the, let's go ahead and take the outside. I like how she just said yes to every single thing that I said. Literally everything she just said, see. I'm pretty sure she did not want to race. But we're actually gonna sit back around. We did a little, detour. We got a gas station, which, what's going on here? This gas station where all the dirt bike riders go. Alright, let's go back into the city. I don't know, we can't escape for a second. It's gonna be a long night, folks, so buckle up. We got a long journey ahead of us. We're just getting started. Check out this structure right here. This is one of a few structures built on underpasses in downtown LA. As you can see, they took matters into their own hands here. No one's kicking them out, so they said, you know what, why not reinforce? We got to deal with the elements, rain, cold, so they insulated, and they built small. You see these kind of in a few different areas out here in LA. They got a little collection of stuff. I'm not going to get too close because if you know one thing about the homeless folks in LA, they're always watching. They're always watching their belongings. Someone had their eye on you right It gets a little tricky right here. I think we're going to cut the wrong way. And, insane as that sounds, there is a closed-off bike lane that we can kind of use. Look at that. That's like a police, just scare people away thing, I guess. I don't know if that actually does anything. Alright, this is 6th Street. We can take this all the way down. This is 6th, get it to 6th. This is going to take us through the hardest skid row we just did. Oh no.
You're trespassing kind of way. Yeah, just
Here's my plan, is we go to the ride and we ride along with the ride for a bit, and then we kind of cut off.
Yeah, there was no invitation with anybody in the back. I put it already in my... Without talking about either nothing at all.
Alright, screw it. We are going straight to the hardest skid row right now. I don't know. Why not?
Okay.
This takes us straight to the bridge. You know, it's easily the worst way you can take after dark. Just stand in the middle of the street. Well, it's been many years since I've came to Skid Row at this time, so we're just going to hit it. Taking the sights and sounds, folks. Because anytime we run a red light, it is here. Here's the mission after dark. Smells like fire. Just kind of keep moving around just a little bit. Just kind of zigzagging around straight up. Okay, keep going. There's a bike lane here, actually. I don't really use it myself. The bike lane here is pretty much never used, so lots of stuff gets picked up in the bike lane, like needles, glass, various trash. Skid Row tonight is pretty tame, actually. It's kind of a chilly night, I'm telling you guys. I'm feeling the cold by ripping on my Suron, so I know it's cold to be out here. Which just sucks. No other way to put that, but it also means there are very few people out on the street who are trying to be inside of a tent. Anyways, we're basically through Skid Row already, so keep on going. We are screaming. We definitely got here fast enough. This is the most direct route we could have taken. It's just most of the routes, they try to take you away from Skid Row, you know, because why wouldn't they? No one really wants to go through Skid Row at night. So it's funny, even the Google Maps will reroute you if you not go through Skid Row. Alright, we're pinning it. The bridge is right in front of us. It's lit up. Looks cool. Almost there. We are jamming on Suron tonight. My eyes are like crying. And I have goggles that are clear for nighttime. Or like clear shades. Oh look, the bridge is lit up tonight. It's lit. And we got a full moon. Lady fire. Oh, getting pulled over. Oh, they're taking pictures. They're taking pictures with a kid in a costume. That's awesome. They have these red and blue lights. Those are on. They're purple, obviously, but they're always on. So
We are roundabout, but you just have to go in the path sometimes, yeah.
Around the corner. I don't know if that's what they're really there for, but it seems like it would be, right?
Not when the direction doesn't have nothing to do with it. Yeah, he's not even within that in the broadcast, so I just...
Follow on Instagram, they're the ones who put this event on. I think they do it every year. You gotta check the map. I don't know where I'm going exactly.
Yeah, they can't, because they want to get in the broadcast.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back across the bridge.
No, it's not. I left the thing so then you can do it all. There's nothing there. It is all there. Yeah, what language do you speak anyways? If you can't understand. Yeah, so that's the thing.
Hope we go back across the bridge this time with a view of the city at night, which is very nice.
Just the thing. Because we only know one language within the few seconds when we come down that one. But, yeah, they have the another one here. So.
Very talented.
If he doesn't understand, then he...
Okay, I'm just confused. Apparently I can get off and go
we didn't have... Yeah, how come we didn't get any ammos in that thing? Oh, finish the ammos in that thing. Yeah, the container. Finish the ammos in that thing.
Holy see us. Hopefully they don't mind. Looks like they're all just having a good night. They, probably did.
Hey, you! Get out of here!
There's a guy here. There's a guy here.
Listen up! Idiot! Squat!
I got you guys. You're good. They're taking us in the same bike. We're all in.
Wow, the wrong son of a...
Right? Those cops did not care about it. Spend at least a few thousand dollars in his lifetime. Might as well just save that cash, save up, get it done. Okay, we gotta take this fire. We gotta pop out the light.
Yeah, I blew the tap. Let's look at the tap.
One wheel event. I think that's what the
Oh, the law. Oh, how come the law's coming right now? The picture video.
Michael Myers, warehouse area.
I think that when he gets in there, yeah.
That thing is loud. Got the Ghostbusters on Sauron. What's that? Alright, I would love to get up to the front of this and get a picture. Will it be possible? I don't know. Also, I gotta say, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to do a bunch of little things like this on video. On Instagram. This is so cool. See lots of electric rides, but first one I actually ever did actually hit a shortcut. We can wrap around and kind of get out of the crowd. Cut them off in the next street. I might do that. Alright, perfect. We gotta hit a quick wrap around so we can get through all that. The problem is, I can't find any of my friends because it's like so packed that everyone's kind of on the same thing for once. Alright, that's perfect. We're gonna be able to catch them right in the front.
No, we can do it at the same time. We can do it at the same time. When you have to do it. Anytime. No, that's not. That's not. Yeah. With the bad things, then you end up. Okay, let's see.
That thing's crazy. Look, he's got look. He just has a panda head. That's his whole costume. I love it. Look, he's out here on one of those crazy cars. It's electric. That's fire. Okay, Mom of e-bikes headed to Little Tokyo. Alright, where are we going to go?
Outside like
I kind of want to go. We're kind of stuck here.
no, we're sticking with the other talking about.
Worst thing that can happen.
We're trying to get
That's
a
why
couple
nobody
of
wins.
ways.
You never know who's doing what, who's knows how to ride,
Yeah,
get around.
don't go over that.
Look at that. That's pretty sick.
Oh no, we got about a couple of minutes left.
We gotta pull that thing out of it. Let's go. Alright, let's try and check our way up. We're making a right.
See, sometimes their cabinet kind of thing is kind of empty in it, so it takes a big time to get
We're gonna wait for him and then we might
They do like a spin cycle on this one.
That's
So,
rolling shot on the oxbow. Pocket 3. Insanely deep.
last time I visited all of it. Yeah, the sniper, that's a good conversation. So maybe that's something you don't know the broadcast, and it could be something really nice. Yeah, everybody's out because I'm moving. fucking, yeah. It's fucking, oh, there's a horse there.
Got Marshall in the house, let's go. The one and only.
Damn, that's fashion. I'm happy to be out here.
Yeah, they're all disturbing, and then these guys do hate and trying to get you into that loophole kind of thing is not very good. Because this stuff, when the first time when the market happened, they were saying that this thing happened, yeah, the civil code, and they just filling the puzzle, only filling the and they said, what stuff are you using to keep, yeah, you're doing very well, yeah, all this, clean the air for this, and the, not here to clean it, out and about, yeah, this, clean this, yeah, that's why, yeah, before we get, that's why some people not to walk me, because sometimes people will tell you, oh, I'll put you in, you can, yeah, clean, some that, some will walk you outside, and some different things, yeah, that's things, yeah. But here, yeah, he said, what are you using those things? What is this? And then later on, yeah, it said you do have to do your own outside, your hallways, lobbies, and the street, and humanity does all those other things out in the hallway lobby to keep you safer kind of thing. Later on, they stab you with, yeah, they're kind of crisscrossing the leg, crisscrossing the arm, trying to see if they can hold up, yeah, blood to you and get you into the wall kind of things like that. And then something crisscrosses it, and it doesn't go through the wall, and then he said, oh, no, how come you should, but then someone in the hallway said, how come she's getting this? Someone pushed the better. But then no one's pushing. It's in her room kind of thing. Yeah, no one, see, if she cleans up there, sometimes the wall won't keep it, then she has something within the covering it. Why is someone running in and telling them there, and they're putting me against the wall kind of thing, see? Yeah, so why is someone, if something was there, then no one would be in the hallway lobby. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
All these people like, damn it, yep, we're about to be waiting for a second.
Okay, now, we got that thing. Let's see. We're gonna, oh, there's a train going there. We're not gonna say that, yeah, that's stuff. They know it already. They're mocking it.
Damn folk won't leave me the hell alone.
Like, we've been talking, not that. Or bits stuff like that. Never, I don't want to let you. They said never, never. Only in the big games, but the other ones is just, that's the only thing I can do easier. Yeah, before it was, people that still was pick one person out and leave the other people in, kind of like that. Because what happened, you want to target the person, not everybody else. But then, yeah, just... environment still right here. Yeah, there's this somewhere, not that, there's somewhere there's a horse nest in this country. We're gonna move forward a little bit on this one.
Downtown Miami.
Sometimes people live here. Yeah, that would describe and move. Yeah, describe. Yeah, would describe. Yeah, because yeah, we are just keeping a little bit. But if someone goes there, then it's different. Yeah. Oh, I didn't sign it enough. We'll wait it out later. Yeah, we'll wait out later.
Little Airbnb hotel with a bunch of other guys.
These guys look like they're. Yeah, because what happened? Yeah, because what happened? Yeah, I don't want to describe it until later. Yeah, I don't want to refresh it. I didn't refresh it. It was the full picture. Yeah, that's why I have to refresh it. So I'm keeping a little bit distance in these. Sometimes people live in, then I will describe and then move, and the other one I'll just that's one.
Welcome to our channel.
Eric Harris, human soldier, stationed on Nexus 7, receives an urgent summons that will test the limits of interstellar diplomacy and his own comfort. The message flashes across his comm unit, demanding his immediate presence in the private chambers of Aurora, the Vidian ambassador. Heart racing, Derek hurries through the station's sleek corridors. The stakes are high. Relations between humans and Vidians hang in a delicate balance. As he approaches Aurora's quarters, the door slides open with a hiss. The sight that greets him stops Derek in his tracks. Aurora, the usually composed diplomat, writhes in visible distress on a plush divan. Her voluptuous form, barely contained by her official robes, glistens with a silvery sheen. Thick droplets of an unknown substance bead on her blue-tinged skin. Human, you must assist me immediately, Aurora gasps, her melodious voice strained. I am undergoing the milking. Derek blinks, confusion etched across his face. The milking? Aurora nods, wincing. A biological process my species undergoes each solar cycle. We must extract excess hormonal fluids to maintain our health and diplomatic abilities. As if on cue, the station's AI chimes in. Alert, Ambassador Aurora's hormone levels approaching critical. Potential for impaired judgment and diplomatic incident. 87.3%. Derek's mind reels. This wasn't covered in his cultural sensitivity training. But surely your attendance... Quarantined. Rigelian flu outbreak. Aurora interrupts, her usually lilting voice now sharp with urgency. Human physiology is compatible. There's a clause in our treaty. You must help. Derek's throat tightens. I'm not trained for this. I don't know anything about Vidian physiology. Aurora's eyes flash dangerously. Then learn quickly, soldier. This process requires intimate physical contact, the manipulation of specific glands. As Derek hesitates, alarms blare throughout the station. The AI's voice returns, more urgent now. Warning, rising tensions detected between human and Vidian delegations. Recommend immediate action to prevent escalation. Aurora's body convulses, a psychic wave of distress washing over Derek. If left untreated, she hisses through clenched teeth. My condition could affect the entire station's population. Derek's mind races. His personal discomfort weighs against the potential for interstellar conflict. The fate of human-Vidian relations may rest on his next decision. With a deep breath, Derek steps forward. All right, Ambassador. Tell me what I need to do. Aurora's relief is palpable, but Derek's anxiety only intensifies. As he approaches the Ambassador's swollen form, he realizes this is only the beginning. The coming hours will push him to his limits, testing not only his adaptability, but the very foundations of...
That's a result one and a human one. That is remember when I told you once in this broadcast? Yeah, Dr. Wait, just a scroll. Yeah, I told you that goes within the not the DR, that DR. That's family doctor kind of therapy kind of thing you need to go when you're before you're a teenager. Oh, okay, it's just a plant. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's when you need to medic. That kind of thing when you're at a youth year. That's a youth year. That doesn't got to do with bigger people kind of thing. Yeah, they already have no. It's just a youth. yeah, about because making the little bit sensitive for the UVs in this yeah. Not like but for me the big boys and the little kind of thing. Yeah, it's Fuji kind of thing. Yeah. See, that's the thing that because what they're doing, I'm focusing on spouses on the other side, and I'm focusing here, and then things like the big lady, papas, yeah. That's the thing what I'm doing. See, that's what I'm telling you. I told that lady that, go stay with it. You guys can use your own sensitivity. They're not going to the other way. It's a rated R then. It gets it. Oh, we're playing the game. It goes from PG to rated R with its stingy kind of thing. Yeah. That's why I try to push her down. That's a deal. Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's a Fedora kind of thing. All those things is within the unit. Yeah, we want that. When you're under the kids anything, yeah, then it's different. See, my mom, see how my mom behaves in her, how my mom behaves down with his sons above. Yeah, see, there's nothing like that. See, it's just that, see, she managed to, they know people living up with those things. But for her, yes, because my mom's only for food and other stuff out kind of thing. Yeah, but above, okay, that's okay. Yeah, because we don't get nothing much out there that you will care. But if he does, that we can't do anything. Oh, let's put something on, then he knows he'll be around. But you can hear us talking. A little bit. They didn't even know. Oh, this is the motion picture. Why is this one doesn't have a volume? Some of them do have a volume. Yeah, I just want to get that a little bit so he knows that we're, yeah. Let's put this one here then. So we want, see now everything goes silence. Yeah, everything goes silence. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you have to try to put in there. Yeah. How far is that? How far is he from there? I know we're gonna. Oh, pelt. Yeah. There's turkeys in here. Sometimes deers and accessory stuff. Yeah. I'm heading south. Yes, south, and you're heading north. Yeah. Okay. Let's head. We're heading south. Yeah. Then you'll know. Yeah. Let's head south, and he's heading northward. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's get that. Because I don't want that. Yeah, so because people getting too much nervous here, kind of the first couple of rounds. Yeah, they. Yeah, why do you get silence? Why do you get so silent so quickly? Yeah, when we need to listen to. Yeah, when you. Okay, let's try this. Oh no, that's Brooklyn. The Brooklyn one. Yeah, that's over that side. So, yeah, so we're gonna. What is this one? Okay, you got this side. Just for temperature, try to get the hell at this.
What's going on, everybody? Today I'm just going to do a quick little overview of my new e-bike. This is the All-Terrain 750. I was previously into road biking, and some of my buddies got out of that, so I sold my road bike and funded this thing right here. I really would have never thought that I would have bought a bike specifically for the woods or hunting in general, but after only having this for a couple weeks, kind of surprised why I waited so long to get one. For me, I'm able to leave my house.
Yeah, I like to add it, but last time I tried to add it, then someone, let me just add, okay,
a lot of time, and instead of loading up the truck and loading all my gear into the truck, I can just put it on this. I can put my backpack on my back with my bow attached to my
because sometimes people, sniper at me sometimes when you're like that, otherwise.
Not have to worry about where to park at.
Oh, I used to use this avatar a little bit.
Getting to the woods.
I used to use that avatar before. Yeah, Parrot's Garden. Remember I used the Parrot's Garden the
and
cat one,
take the
someone's
camera
just
with me and
used it
just show
now.
you
Someone
kind of how
used
it does
yeah,
when
that's
you check
right.
a trail camera. And
Yeah, they can see your avatar
like I
too.
said, I've only
See,
had
that's
it a
what
couple weeks, but just wanted to show you in its early stages because
that's
I'm going to be doing
no, that is you yeah, we can't, yeah, don't bother them, yeah, just because they just, yeah, because they remember, yeah, everybody, yeah, don't bother them. They'll figure it out on their own.
Make sure and subscribe, follow along to see what I'm going to do to this project.
That one, yeah, a little head on the, you know, the first place, we'll put it with the, I don't know, yeah, I didn't know, put it, I don't think I put anything,
Fat tire. These Kinder Juggernaut tires are 5
my
PSI
description
all the
earlier,
way
yeah.
to a max of 30 PSI. So you know whenever you're in mud or snowy conditions,
Here's what I do, I type that one first, then I go to tag, then I create on that, and back, so next time if I'm out, then I can put it on the description. But I don't know if I did put it on that.
Gives you some suspension, and then it does have the lockout. This lockout is all the way forward, and then back you have the suspension. Then up front you have front headlight. It's powered by this very large. This right here is your battery.
He's plugging two, basically for two. Yeah, I'm just using the short one. I should have had a little longer one than this guy. Yeah, because we use the short one. I don't know if this is, this one, we'll try to figure out the weapon that we're going to use now. Because I know, the other one's good enough.
And this has a lot of different options how you can set this up. But up here it just has the speed. Right here's the battery indicator. I have 3 bars left. And I've done this on one charge.
Go by
21.1 miles so far.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything within the time.
And then this
Yeah, he's roaming around, but he goes in a distance, comes back. That's okay, let him go. Yeah, he's just doing the same thing. Yeah, with for Turkey and
level 9. While you're pedaling it, this thing will just flat out cruise. Lots of power. And then you hold on the plus on the up button. I don't know if you can see that, pretty sunny out here. But hold on the up button and your front headlight will come on. And then it is the 750 model, powered by the Fang 750 rear hub motor. And then in the back you got a powered tail light. And then it comes with a small little blinker there. You can blink or you can just do steady. This is nice because some e-bikes online that I've noticed, they do not come with rear racks already installed or fenders. So this does have rear and front fenders. So this is where I'll be focusing a lot of my time. I've got some ideas on how to set up a system to carry either a pack and my bow or rifle, or just a bow and a rifle, put my backpack just on my back whenever I'm riding the bike. It does have decent components. It has the Shimano Acera rear derailleur.
No, don't do that. Yeah, reading mine is no
It
good.
has front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, quick release front wheel. So this is your, like I mentioned, this is your battery here. Has a button right here to show you what the power level is if you take this off of the bike. Kind of hard to see, but it shows 3, just like the readout did earlier. To take this off, I like the security of this. It takes a key, so you would just turn this to the unlock position, lift this lever, and you can pull your battery straight out to either charge it off the bike, or you can just leave it on the bike and plug it in right here.
This one would have a, this one have a different
Just
shape
want to show you the charger real quick. I just have the charger lifted off the ground on a metal paper shelf. That way the charger can breathe because it does get a little bit warm. It does come with this nice large charger. It gives you a red LED light whenever it is still charging, and then it will switch to green once it is at full capacity. But that's kind of a quick overview. Like I mentioned,
this one, yeah, this one is just a quick self-defense of that listing because yeah, some cutting so they don't. Yeah. No, I'm not sign writing it right now. I just want to keep see what's your motion video so I can watch all of them, then describe, and then yeah.
Pedal assist level 3. I have it in gear about 6 or 7.
Do that. I don't like it. Yeah, let me say it one. That's not much worse than that.
Increase this pedal assist.
Yeah, this guy's like this guy's gonna get much worse than kind of like through the hood and this thing, and then you just no, that's not your kind. Yeah, not your, look like that thing was look like not your kind. When you start to put in your kind is moving right now, so what do you take on
Kickstand going at higher speeds.
And then
Luckily going through the woods, it does not make a noise.
Is that your kind? Because it's in my broadcast. We have to talk from the. Yeah, this is my broadcast. How could you your kind? This is not your kind. Yeah, this would be my neck of the wood. If you ever keeping the video. You're not doing your kind that do it and then you change it and then you target me. Yeah, sometimes. You have to learn something. You see, this guy doing, the politics, I'm not changing any politics. If a politics does more things about doing things around the home, wives or anything, this doesn't work. Yeah, you have to do both things, both things. I'm not here there to change it and you take off it, and then you so that's why. You have to, just write on that, He slides, kind of, look at space. Yeah, we don't have to do that because the guy who's talking, you might be listening to some broad one. So they will get defended on the outside, the ESK, bombarding on your own area. I'm not bombarding. Yeah, I know this. You get Oh, those are only self-defense only. To control them or to get over a bit kind of thing. No, that's everybody got their own. They wouldn't know how to. Okay, let's see how much. Something really talking about more. Oh yeah, and the 6 is not bad at all. We almost got 8. But we're gonna keep on doing it. We're gonna keep on doing it. As Imperial said, people can go for another round and then I have to belt. You can have to belt because there's other places that you can even you have this. But only thing that help will survive is in the horse. That's why you might have to drop it at the campsite.
I brought in here to check my trail camera. So, is this an absolute necessity? No, but it's going to make things a lot easier, and it's going to be a big time saver for me because I can leave the house and just go straight to the woods on my bike. It's going to be.
Something these guys want to info from me too, like this one. How? That's actually. But you want to get there, exactly like we don't want to, that's what want to. But people should be like, because if everything's a shape same, maybe the color, and things. You don't need to, you can get outfits like e-bike, but same as a bench press. Same as a bench press. You can get something with the bench press for consumer design, but you will stuff in it, because, but mine will be on the, display cases, mine's bench press is in the display cases, you guys have to do, then it wasn't made for you. See, when someone goes too much to it, I told you that this, you guys got those ones, something wasn't meant for, if there is like that, there's something. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's that one's because what's happening? It's getting
Single, black and
sky swallowed the earth as silent shadows spread across its cities. They were here, the ones the outer colonies had whispered of, the galactic warlords. They were a nightmare carved from metal and power, each as tall as two men, with cold, gleaming eyes set deep in faces designed to instill fear. These warlords had devoured countless worlds, leaving ash and silence in their wake, and now their gaze had turned to Earth. Humanity, to them, was nothing more than a minor obstacle. A little exercise before the next conquest.
This is just a, this
The ground
strip
trembled
photo,
as they
strip
descended,
photo
stepping out to
result in
Earth's soil with
there.
barely restrained disdain. Armed with
But
weapons so
yes,
advanced
I'm not
they
signing my
seemed
contract
almost
right
like
now.
magic.
Yeah,
The warlords
this one's from
with the
Nobola
confidence of
Tales
conquerors.
2 weeks ago.
Their ships
Yeah.
hovered in the skies, blotting
Now
out
that
the sun
disrespect
and
goes into YouTube so you can give your own autograph and discuss other, and broadcasting it. Yeah. That's a little bit disrespectful. Let's get the button to keep it making the YouTube or something, so I can keep it YouTube or nothing like that. But yeah, good way. Yeah. Selling someone's persisting somewhere to put this up, but I don't want to put this up. But it's unknown viewers. You're persisting there, put them in the cell, and everybody goes in the cell with them.
Silence followed. The Marine sat motionless for a moment, a muscle ticking in his jaw. His hands clenched slowly, instinctively, and he moved to stand. He wasn't part of Earth's military
This pistol works good with the small ones. Even it works good with the
He gazed at the tiny
turkey
outpost,
too.
barely
Sometimes
lit
two
with
shots.
that
Sometimes
looked
if
skyward.
you're in the right range
The
on that one,
warlords
then
thought they had this world under their control, but they had overlooked one inconvenient truth. Humanity wasn't done yet. A low hum in the forest signaled an alien scout sweeping the area. From his outpost, the Marine tracked it on his radar, small and swift, moving methodically. He crouched, watching, calculating its route. He had no high-tech weapons, only his standard-issue rifle. But he knew how to improvise. As the scout closed in,
everybody likes to keep the Winchester on my Winchester bag. Yeah, I kind of like it. But it's just that depends on the. Just like I took it with the yellow jersey, I put it with the yellow jersey to a side the left of it. Yeah. But I want to put that on the skill trying to make it yellow. And then use that. Yeah, then I can put on other. So I knew if you can manage it on the broadcast, then I can bring it other outfit and yeah. The arms I can use in my. One arm is just a zipper that is from the console. That's why some people notice what happens to other arms. Just like you have a cat, a blazing cat.
Enough of the scout to understand its communication signals. Soon, he'd be able to tap into their frequencies, listen to their movements.
Oh no, that's the trading post. I'm not sure. Yeah, the stable for
They
the.
thought he was alone, that Earth's scattered defenders were helpless. He planned to prove them wrong. In the forest, the warlords' patrols moved steadily, sweeping the ground for remaining resistance. They were swift, organized, but they lacked finesse. They marched in straight lines, relying too heavily on their tech and brute force. The Marine noted every movement, every blind spot, leaving a map of their
The one I was wearing, the moderate one, I think there was the one that some lady was wearing, not missing in them, was there some other Mexican coming out from the truck? Busted, there was a strike and so. I had a two canister, she had a two canister, but hers was red, mine is grayish white. Yeah, I think she could be the wife of the homestead business. Yeah. It's the homestead business wife there. So when you see how doing the catwalk, and she wears the red one.
He'd been in tougher spots before, but he knew every second
Yeah,
counted.
and you keep on going with that. Yeah, no problem looking back or anything like that. Yeah. Sometimes some people might want us to look back and just so people would know that the younger elite in mind is the other one. They want to go some demon to resist them. Okay, I said a little bit under there. And I left that, the rabbit ear on the other end, and silver cup, not silver cup, silver fox? Yes, what happened to my ears? Yeah, there's maybe some have your earbud, not earbud, but the ears, yeah.
And now their weapons
But he got
turned
fucking good.
against them. As darkness fell, word of the attack spread to the alien range. Human who had dismantled an entire patrol without backup or heavy artillery. The Marine returned to his outpost, his face shadowed in quiet satisfaction. He knew the game had changed. Tonight was only the beginning.
More scout patrols were sent out, spreading farther, more cautious. But they were unfamiliar with Earth's terrain, stumbling over roots, slowed by the forest's dense canopy. The Marine had an advantage here. These warlords might have conquered 100 worlds, but Earth was not one of them.
Yeah, there's
Not yet.
water cap.
From his outpost, he listened in on their
So now
comms,
we
hearing
didn't get
their
any
voices
turkey
grow
coming this
sharper,
way.
frustration
We
evident.
didn't get any turkey coming this
They
way.
were not used to such resistance,
It's gonna get
especially
dark
not
now.
from one human.
Okay, we're gonna make our. Let's
His
go
eyes
closer
narrowing
to the
as he
water and
pieced
see
together
what
their
we can
response
apply
patterns.
now.
The alien strategy was predictable, arrogant. They
Oh
had
yeah,
relied so
let's
heavily
take out,
on
yeah,
their
let's take this
superior
called
tech
that.
that they'd forgotten the most dangerous
And then
weapon of
when the
all,
daylight
a
gets,
determined human with nothing left to lose.
then just
As he lay hidden in the shadows, watching another patrol file by, the Marine thought of all those the warlords had crushed. His fellow humans scattered across worlds, the lives extinguished in their path. And he knew, with a grim certainty, that he would make them regret underestimating humanity.
let's see
For
how far
every
we are
friend,
from that
every
finishing
fallen
that.
soldier, and every
Not
inch
this
of Earth
one.
they
That,
had
yeah, this tells a
desecrated,
good
it
result
would
too
be
on
the
the
reckoning
award
they had
counting.
not seen coming.
Yeah, you have to get
Dawn
let
crept
make
over the
a
horizon,
plant one to
casting a pale light over the trees. The warlords sent a fresh wave of soldiers,
This
armored
one,
and armed,
yeah, well, let's get the
scanning
plant
the
and get that
forest
one
with
filled
their
up
alien
so we can do that
sensors.
today.
But it was too late. They were in his territory now. He was ready for them. And so, the lone Marine set his sights on the invaders, his resolve stealing like iron. He knew
Yeah,
that
my mom wanted to go there with me, but I waited out next one. Yeah,
minor problem to
yeah,
be solved.
yeah, because today, yeah, oh, I talked
Show
to
them,
him about it's
one
closed
strike
today,
at a
yeah.
time,
Today's
that
closed.
humanity was not to be
Yeah,
underestimated.
today's closed.
As long as he stood, Earth
Whole
would not
week,
fall.
this whole week is
The
closed.
galactic warlords had crossed
Yeah,
paths with the
until
lone
next
man.
week, right? Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's closed.
Brushed off
It's
the
good
Marine's
for us.
initial
Yeah,
attack
it's good
as
for
an
us.
anomaly, and irritation
We have to do a little bit of our
away.
own
But when another
filling,
patrol
yeah,
failed to
filling,
report in,
yeah,
their
filling.
voices began to crackle with an edge of
There's a
irritation,
little bit, not too much of it.
something
Yeah,
else,
just to get that.
faint, creeping out.
Yeah, a little bit of it. Tell me, get my mom can.
For centuries,
use it.
these warlords had crushed worlds without so much as a scratch. Earth was supposed to be
For the
easy,
independent child.
yet here
But
they
I
were,
didn't want to
losing
put it.
patrols to a single man.
Unseen,
Unseen, the Marine watched them shift their
echo
tactics,
of the work.
stretching their forces.
I know. I'm in the
Unprepared with
broadcast.
more sophisticated surveillance drones. Their soldiers moved in tighter formations, more cautious, backs pressed against one another as they crept through the forest. The Marine kept his distance, letting them sweep, observe.
Yeah, they closed those days, yes.
He was learning with every patrol they sent, seeing the gaps in their patterns, noting where they relied too much on
If someone was, like with my sister already, give the lobster, now give the lobster with the other. Some people who really disabled kind of thing in the wheelchair, that they can not the wheelchair, they can work. Some of them, they can work too. Yeah, we can get, they can work too if they want to. Give them very like job or go pick up some stuff out of that. You guys got that. Some kind of job that a little bit further than they can. Don't get other people out. Yeah, get this a little bit lighter job. They can pick up some litters on the parking spaces and those things. Yeah, get them a little bit lighter and get them in the system too. Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, that'd be really interesting for them. Yeah, but with conflicts. Yeah, my sister plays that one already and those things. Yeah, and then for now and for me, and now it's the other people that can do it. But don't pull my buddy out of the from the KFC because because he just came for the chicken nuggets and that's not good. He was in the food bank, I met him in the food bank. He has a right to get a little help on that one. He was a little bit on the ESL kind of guy too. They started, but without taking him, but if he was on the, if he was on the working kind of thing, then give him a little currency add-on currency for him. So don't pull him out of that like that, because just you do the cultivate the chips. If someone, this is how you do that. If you have the, it's interesting board or what do you call it?
Fired swiftly, taking out their commanders, a massive, imposing figure at the front of the line. Chaos erupted. Without their leader, the soldiers fumbled.
Came back to when he's gonna buy that. Yeah, because he wanted me to buy that that kind of thing, and then because just someone.
Using the cover ability to stay hidden between shots. Examine the wreckage. Among the
Yeah, we'll live with distance from there actually. Yeah, so that's the thing what happened. Yeah, he kind of pulled him up and then, yeah, he said, oh, yeah, that one is kind of, that's no good.
Pocketed the device and retreated, slipping back into the shadows just as reinforcements approached.
But he'd be nice, yeah, for everybody was standing in the lineup and all that thing. Yeah. This is the first roundup close, yeah, with him, close to KFC, and we always meet up at the food bank all the time. Yeah, he goes to the food bank.
Information flowed across the screen. Maps, coordinates, tactical outlines. He studied them, his gaze narrowing as he recognized familiar terrains. They had underestimated him, left their plans half encrypted, assuming no human could break their code. With each new screen, he pieced together their strategy, spotting gaps, vulnerabilities they hadn't even considered. They were organized, powerful, yes, but they were also
Looks like a pretty rare fur you got on.
Going by, keep going back. Yeah, someone's going by. Keep on going by.
He began setting up a series of ambushes.
Hunting. Oh yeah, I see X mark. Yes.
Warlords hadn't adapted yet to human unpredictability. Their high-tech sensors overlooking simple traps crafted from Earth's resources.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see X marks on those. That's pretty cool. Even broadcast
Each trap was set to exploit their complacency, luring them into ambushes where their tech would falter, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. One night, he intercepted a particularly interesting transmission. A high-ranking alien commander, frustrated with the losses, ordered a bounty on the Marine, offering rewards for any soldier who could capture or kill him. His face hardened. To them, he was nothing but prey, a trophy to be hunted. He decided it was time to send a message of his own.
Just to be, yeah.
The next
Yeah,
morning,
we can see the X's when he
Marine
did.
hacked
Yeah, you
into
can see
their
the X's on the kills.
broadcasting
Yeah, that's
his
just
voice
cool.
across their
Yeah,
channels.
sometimes he leaves it behind.
His tone was
You
calm,
got
unyielding.
reception. Yeah, you kind of had it on
But
your
Earth
reception.
isn't yours yet.
Yeah.
You came here thinking
Yeah,
you'd
Brooks
find
has a
sheep.
reception.
You
Yeah,
found
kind of
something
on
else.
that. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
waiting for you. He cut the transmission, leaving a heavy
You
silence
guys
in
probably
his
got in the
wake.
bullocks.
The alien soldiers stared at one another, the message rippling through their ranks, unsettling even the hardened veterans among
Yeah, I
them.
know. He's telling you got
They had
something on the
never
other
heard a
side
human
there.
speak with
There are
such
big
certainty,
pelts there.
such defiance.
Big pelts.
Rattled, the warlords increased their patrols, sending more drones, heavier
We'll
armor.
get used to.
Yet
Yeah, we'll
each
get used to
time
it after we got done. But
he was a step ahead.
let's put the pelts
They
in
had
there.
numbers, weapons, machines. He had knowledge, terrain, and the fierce determination of someone with nothing left to lose. In their arrogance, they had brought their advanced technology to Earth, assuming that brute force
Stocks are
alone would
looking
win.
good.
But they hadn't counted on a soldier who
Okay
could adapt
then,
to anything,
no comment.
who would turn their own power
Okay,
against
this
them.
will have to do.
He struck
Yeah,
again
that
and
thing
again.
that you
Each
Phoenix.
ambush
Yeah,
calculated
that one.
to
Yeah,
cause
here's my
maximum
outfit.
confusion.
Phoenix outfit.
Alien soldiers staggered through
I'll
smoke,
take whatever I can get.
blinded, disoriented. He would strike from the shadows, silent and deadly.
And people said
taking out their
you're
officers,
related to Phoenix. Kind
leaving
of
the
thing.
soldiers leaderless
If it
and
goes like the
panicked.
maybe it is, never know.
The
Yeah, never.
forest echoed
Yeah,
with the sounds of battle,
yeah.
but the Marine remained unseen, a ghost in the trees, untouchable. As the alien warlords regrouped, the Marine knew they were beginning to feel fear. He saw it in their formations, in the cautious way they moved, the wary glances they exchanged. Each victory, each ambush, chipped away at their confidence, eroding the wall of superiority they'd wrapped themselves in. He knew their pride would be their downfall. They had walked into his world, and now he would make them regret it. The warlords had begun this invasion with the certainty of conquerors. But the longer they fought this single, relentless human, the more they realized they were facing something they hadn't encountered before. A foe who
Anything's
would not
better than
yield,
nothing.
would not break, no matter the odds. And as the Marine watched the alien forces grow tighter, more cautious, he knew he was winning, piece by piece. They might have the numbers, the technology, but here on Earth, the human spirit would prove stronger than any machine. The alien commanders, once relaxed in their metal citadels, now paced restlessly, their
within 10
confidence
minutes,
shattered
yeah.
by the losses piling out. Reports streamed in of downed patrols, missing scouts, and entire units rendered.
This is a squirrel. Yeah, that's just a squirrel one. 1024. Wolf. Yeah. It says here. Yeah. It says here. I am not part of the army. I am the army. Galactic warlord conquered planet until they crossed paths with a lone marine. Isidore the kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, Isidore the kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. This one is just the result in human. How does have to give a respect to the YouTuber too, because we're gonna when we put in the YouTube clip, they can describe, you can put comment it, whatever you want to do, and then everybody sees with their own eyes, and then I keep the YouTube live and describe it too. Yeah, this one was about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Viewers will leave that one out. Not unknown viewers. These viewers are good. Yeah, these viewers are okay. Earth versus the flying saucer. Yeah, that was I know these things were always thinking about it, but ours, but you guys, didn't, kind of thing. This guy, this result picture is getting like a kind of thing that's interesting in it. She's sitting in the vehicle. Yeah, Earth versus the this is Earth versus the flying saucer. Oh no, such. Yeah, this is gonna be in the YouTube clip if it was. What is this? This one say. This one we can see. Oh, not sure. The commercial is the commercial is a Metro Town commercial. Yeah, I'm still gonna buy this stuff. You just have to wait it out a little. Yeah, I'm just waiting. Mine is my package. He left complex kind of thing. Now it's on the transit now. The first transit, otherwise it's spinning around in there. They want to do everything around the neck of the woods. Yeah, there, and then push forward onto our neck of the woods kind of thing. Yeah. So now they're on the transit right now. They were not in the transit before. They were gliding up beside their facility. Yeah, they were hovering around the facility, doing the easy jobs a little bit. And once the load goes, and then they will go. Mine is approximately 22 to 28 of November. Yeah, they were. Yeah, someone left a note out on the door of this space, facing this way. Yeah, I think sometimes this, if the package is for theirs, sometimes they're, I didn't read it all. I read it a little later. Yeah, it's facing this way. Yeah, so it was someone else's. Either there was a note on facing this way. But some interference maybe out there, say no keys, that kind of way. But that's the securities kind of thing. Yeah, because I'll keep I'll play the yeah. You can hear a little distance on that broadcast. Yeah, we're still playing the game. We just have to, we're close to the campsite. Yeah, when we're in the campsite, we'll move around a little bit on that one, and we got that one done. So let's go get some more pelts. Yeah. Oh, let's show the pelts again. Some of the people. Let's see. Let's click on that again. Let's see what's going on there. Let's see what. Oh, okay, this one's full. This is halted. It's full, and this one is plentiful. Plentiful. Yeah, it is plentiful. It says plentiful. Yeah, we're thinking about something. Yeah, that's a different. Yeah. Okay, this one we need a bit more. Once we get that done, and then we get. Let's get that. Oh yeah. Let's check our. Bring the horse. We'll bring the horse closer. Then check the progress too at the same time. Maybe that's what they're yelling is going in the background. Maybe. But let's see. Just see how much move they did. It's a little bit at a time. Very less limit on that. But we got it as far as we can. It's gonna be a little bit at times. Gonna be long. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try to remind myself about the. For the PSN one, it's auto. Yeah, PSN is auto monthly. Yes, monthly. Yeah, it's auto. Yeah. So that's why I'm not. That's why you wonder how come I never announced it that on the PSN. I'm gonna go to the monthly. It's auto payment. It's auto payment. Yeah, so that's the problem. Yeah, I get it in my bank statement anyways. It shows up in there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's only monthly, but that's why I was worried if I go get the $22 one that is for the other one. Yeah, that one's $22. Yeah, that's gonna be my mistake. Will be added to the $22 one. Yeah, monthly. Then I don't want to go to unless if I was gonna. Get that one, they will ship to from $18 to $22 monthly, and then ship it back to $18. Yeah, I can do that, but I have to wait too much. 2 months. When I buy it, wait 2 months after New Year's, then go back because I don't want to do too quickly because then it will mess up on the PSN count kind of thing. Too quickly. Wait 2 months and then go back. They will know that he bought the bigger, then he went back. But they would tempting me to buy that one. Yeah, the PSN. They know it. Yeah, they know that. Yeah, that one. They will have it for $18, but they moved it to $22. But I'll wait it a little bit later. I'll wait it in November when the November one comes then. Yeah, because it's just I can do it. Yeah, there's this one coming for the. Oh, there's one coming for November 1st. Yeah, for the auto one. So if I buy a little bit earlier before the end of the month, in this one, then it will veer to the $22 one, and then wait it out. End of February. Yeah, that's the T4 comes. Yeah, T4 will be coming. Yeah, T4. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll wait it out and see when that time comes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. When I do my yeah, but that's still plenty of time. Plenty of, yeah. Okay. What's elected alien left their deadly wolf and her cub
Did I ever tell you I briefly
die
trained as an
until
acrobat
a
in
human
Portugal?
gave
I think it's one of the reasons
second
I've stayed
thought.
so spry. He was a strange man, claimed to be a mute, but talked in his sleep.
Yeah, this guy's pointing. You guys might have seen this guy. Yeah, the blue jersey and the red one. Yeah, he's pointing out. Yeah, something with the Serrano. Not so. Yeah, he says this is in the snap. The other. Yeah, I think it's shorts, not snap shorts. Yeah, yeah. He says this isn't your father's bicycle. Oh, how come he doesn't put his kids in the vehicle? Yeah, how come you're saying it's his son's vehicle. His son.
Testing.
His son's vehicle is upstairs. That's his son's vehicle. Yeah, he's saying mimicking that if he says his son, then he can keep his vehicle with that. Just to shoot kind of with that at the broadcast. Yeah, the kind of thing. Yeah, like that. See? Yeah. So no more. Yeah, I put it those. Remember, I put sons and a bodyguard. That security is a bodyguard. Son is this one, and tailgating is for up there. So that one we can veer that. No more of that one. Yeah. Now we're gonna see what within the vehicle, within the bodyguard. Yeah, I did put the vehicle. Yeah, that one, and this is merging. Yeah, I'll put that one. I'll put that one later. That will help. Yeah, she's mutating it and mutating on every body. That is. She's doing on her behalf. Yeah, like hissing, laughing like that, without and taking over the North continent. Yeah, this continent. Yeah, what do you call it? Family Guys and tow truck, kind of thing. Yeah. So she's spamming it. She's taking over. She's trying to. She say we're both taking over the. Not for me. For me, I'm the. Yeah. She's taking over the body kind of thing. Yeah. She's taking over the world. Continent right now, not the world. I don't see anything in the world right now. Not even. Yeah, there's some people wearing the tights there. Yeah, no. Yeah, keep away from the siblings, and keep away from the girls who wear the tights on in this continent. Yeah, there's people on Russia is helping out on this continent. They're telling the big boys, yeah, keep away from the tights that they're wearing there, and keep away from the. Yeah, and those things, and that's some things too. Yeah, so her spouse, you have to stay away from anybody wearing tights. That's a self-defense from the Russia, the girls. Yeah, the youth, yeah, kind of things. Yeah, I'll put that in the YouTube clip, then we can hear that one. And the shopping one, we can hear that one. Yeah, we'll have to figure a bit more of that one. We can do grocery shopping in the we can use some grocery shopping at that area too. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, online. But I don't have any shopping in my mind within Russia right now. I don't have no shopping area in that one. Yeah, no shopping area in that area right now. Not that one. No shopping, nothing. But those, yeah, that one you might have noticed that the took when they have to defend their because they heard some places that school kind of they have to. I think some of the school areas is closed for now. Yeah, school areas may be closed. But they need to have their education still there. Somewhere they need to open a facility somewhere. The neck of the wood, yeah, continue to school. Yeah, they need to community schooling or something. But they still have to wear the turf. Yeah, so that people will know that yeah they're defending the turf in that area, and they go to school. Yeah, they have to Yeah, but I didn't have any solution on the schooling. They have to figure it out on their turf. Yeah, so it's that. Okay. Yeah. So the tight one is for the big boys here. Keep away from them. Yeah. Yeah. That there. That's a self defense. And the chips one and those things. The grocery shopping. We'll have to think about what I think. Yeah. My mind is not quite in that area right now. Yeah, who's on my radar right now? Yeah, she just that was yesterday. She with the shopping one, the produce one. Yeah, but we don't want to say too much about the shopping one because or else it's gonna yeah we don't. We still got if they want to know, still the political still running in the same because they're a little bit distant, a little bit distance. Yeah, but we a little bit shift a little bit on that one because or else they're going to get too much into later on maybe he's still in the government. Yeah, he's still in the government. Yeah, that's what I think. It's some of the more that the produce one. He's still in the political right now. Yeah, he's still working. Yeah, he's still working on that one. No, I'm not there for, but unless if it's a cell or something, then it'll be, because if it's standing, there was unless if I put it a little bit, there was a glazing channel wall that can protect it, because sometimes, this one, oh, right, yeah, this one reminded, they want to know, you're fighting the, who's armies you using, they don't use that, they want to know, if these guys are just, regular outlaws, if these guys are outlaws from the, they're outlaws raising the tribe only. Yeah, because they don't want to using big things because you're damaging the other kind of things there. Yeah, so you're fighting the outlaws only. Outlaws like the bikers outlaw or something like that. Yeah, that's the only outlaw. So we'll call it the outlaws. Yeah, you're fighting the outlaws there. You're fighting the outlaws. Yeah, that's the thing. I think what they were trying to bring. Trying to. Remember you said something that there were the walls of the kind of thing. Yeah, they're trying to push you away from that, but push you to different things. Yeah, or else you're gonna spam your own kind of thing, or you're gonna spam the outside of people that you're. Yeah, that outlaw is just trying to push you away from that thing. Yeah, little bit of everything. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Invisible walls. There's no wall that time when you're doing. Yeah, that's just doing that. Just to try to get you away from that. Yeah, outlaws. Yeah, that's just. Little bit of a pinch or something, trying to get you away from you guys had that kind of thing, we're trying to push you that way. That's what they're doing a little bit. But we still came out a little bit later because there was no ghost one demon either there. Yeah, and I wasn't in the broadcast either that day. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. So yes, that's the thing. It's just fighting them. The bike one here is pointing. Yes, talking about the bugle is not my bugle and that one. Yeah, that it has to be a real regular sun. Yeah, or else it's So let's see what let's see if he has any motion. Yeah, let me see. He's still on the other one. Yeah, on the. Oh, green motor just offline. Yeah, the green motor, the blue motor. Let me see. Do we hear it? Oh, he has his own office. He's talking to. Oh, sweet. He has his own office in there.
Testing. Can somebody just post a comment confirming?
Wait, let me start again. Let me start again.
Coming through nice and clear this time. I made a mistake on the last bit.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can click. Let me just click it without. Let me just get it right. I have to get the scroll right back. Not the scroll, the red streak right back. Okay, look at this quiet down. Okay, let's see. Well, he's looks like he was
last game was my webcam mic and not the headset that I was wearing.
Oh, I'm alive. That's exactly.
technical hiccups resulted in me here.
Top chapter, yeah, top chapter replies to, yeah, oh, yeah. That's sending it right now. All the good stuff are send out. Yeah, that's what.
Gonna run a little bit more smoothly because I spent a bit more time on
Daily broadcasting. But I'm not taking anybody away. Yeah, just visit subscribers right now. But you guys have to stay in your chat. I'm in daily broadcasting. Yeah, no, PS7. So you guys think, yeah, this is the way we can, yeah, communicate. But I don't want taking his subscribers. His subscribers is live kind of thing. Yeah. He's in greater, not too from his neck of the wood kind of thing. Yeah.
It's come up routinely for us as a business.
It's called the top. It's right now top chat reply right now. It's, yeah, okay. And it's a guide to multi-motor, 2WD and 3WD. Yeah, that's yep. E-bike. Not that's the other one. E-bike driving system. Two-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive.
Screen here is a fat bike tricycle that a guy
let's just see what it, no, we don't need to. Sometimes you can make the screen bigger, and then it'll set up on its own.
Given a massive amount of resistance.
Yeah. Okay. I think that one would move that way. Wait, just wait. Let me get it just perfectly.
The sand and other soft terrain like that, a single hub motor would still.
Let me see if I can get right to the end. Wait. Yeah, right now on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me just get.
All right. Testing. Can somebody just post a comment confirming if my audio is coming through nice and clear this time? I made a mistake on the last game, and it was my webcam mic and not the headset that I was wearing.
You know, I keep hearing talk about this traveling mystic, Madame Bazaar or something like that. Seems to have folks running around after her left and right.
First, sorry so much for everyone who's been waiting here for the last while. Two totally unrelated technical hiccups resulted in me here. A half hour later, not able to update you guys on the situation, so I really appreciate those. Who stuck through for the last half hour. That's quite an embarrassment for run number 2 that I thought was going to run a little bit more smoothly.
I did check it on
Anyways, all the same, we're going to launch right into this.
We don't get the recipe on it yet.
We don't get the bi-monthly technical analysis of some aspects of e-bikes and e-bike conversions.
Yeah, we're not going to don't run into that.
We're doing multiple motor drives.
Big belts in there.
And this came up, it's come up routinely for us as a business, right down to some of our very first e-bike projects involving setting up e-bike or other EV system with multiple motors.
Our stuff's going to be right here.
In the last 2 or 3
because there's a big canyon kind of thing there. They're right about here.
Emailing us actively at the same time, looking for guidance on how on two-wheel drives or in some cases three-wheel drive e-bike setups. You can see one of them on
one day, one of his buddies, he's not with Eve. He was doing the flats ride. You know what the one tire? He's doing the flats ride. He's doing the flats ride in there. The flats is good. One day, they have a, they have a chair, lawn chair, yeah, a new club that opened up that one. Yeah, that's what I'm glazing with it, glazing, yeah. But I have to put something else within that, yes.
Here you see one of my earlier dual motor bike setups. This was a bike that I built when we were doing a trip down to
yeah, we got the car seat up. Lawn chair, yeah.
To get ourselves down there by bike,
did we get the car? It's a flat. But you can put a lawn chair in the flats. Yeah, or a lawn chair, the picnic. Yeah, exactly.
Where we have combinations of direct drive hub motor and in this case a mid drive.
These guys are technical, so they want to keep everything within me. Keep it. Yeah, just to know that they can study. Well, I never made that. I didn't make an Allen key within the area like that. Because they have to be.
So first thing to get
Allen key, it's a progressive e-bike. It was within the blazing within the yeah, exactly blazing. Yeah, that's what blazing within
almost for sure.
Mine's for personal too, personal that. What do you call it? Industrial park, industrial area, and residential. We might be the yeah.
Not totally unrelated.
Sometimes that will glaze the HG grass down. When it's sunny, that is the old factory specific.
Looking at this, you can see
Italians.
a single motor twice as wide wouldn't have all of this intern copper on the inside. The current rated all the current points here is kind of generating extra heat without any extra torque. And you'd also have two motors, two side cover plates per motor. So you'd have massive four side plates versus if you actually use a single wide motor, massive two side plates. If you have splitting one big motor, small motor results in a decrease in mass and a decrease in copper winding losses, so hence a little bit less efficient.
That much.
So as a rule, one single big motor that's twice the power of two smaller motors should be lighter, more efficient.
Because I was in the broadcast that I was all about like that.
The reasons for multiple motors isn't just because it's cooler, it's better. But there are some really valid reasons for wanting more than one motor in any bike drive.
I do a turn when I come down that 650, four way, main down. There's a restaurant, a fast food. There's cheers there on the bike. Just a four ways,
Or the ability, or just the availability for a larger motor that has that kind of power level requirement.
Architecture zone that the word. You might see, I go past that. One lady will say, I'm busy right now. I want to do it on my own.
One person and the kind of loads the bicycle entails. As soon as you have massive amounts of cargo, the way that two or four riders, there's a lot of party bikes or social bikes that you see for kind of novelty reasons, like the common beer bikes, where you can have sometimes 8 or 10 people riding the same vehicle, but still has pedals and is still considered in some classes a bicycle, but no way one standard motor is utilized for a vehicle with 10 people on it. And also cases where it's just a normal rider, a heavy rider, but the single motors that are available in the market don't have the capacity to do that kind of movement without risk of overheating and burning up. Just make bigger, more powerful motors for these applications. Well, there's, one, they could, and there are big and powerful motors, but within the context of an e-bike, there's a bit of a limited real estate that we have available to fit the motor. And you can see that in this drawing on the right here. So on a standard bike, it's about a full 5, 10, 12 gear.
No, that's okay.
Spacing in which the motor needs to fit, which is 125. A disc caliper, so the disc brake will mount in the right location and then has enough room on to prop against the side just over here. Notice in the right hand side is when you have a 5-ring cassette cluster. It means that in practice it's really hard, at least for direct drive motor, to have more than 30 millimeters. So then the only way to get it more powerful would be to increase the diameter of the motor, which is something you've seen. So you'll see like some of the stolen motors by the 270 easiest go-to solution for people to electrify their vehicle and get a totally different class of torque requirements is just to run multiple motors that are in the family that does fit on a bike. So here's an example. This is a guy, David Elderton, who's runs an e-bike business on Salt Spring Island, and he does local deliveries and pickups and service and support of the bikes that he sells and provides. So that often means carrying around quite a few 100 pounds of bikes in the trailer. And if you've been on the Gulf Islands here, they're also notoriously
glazing, kind of thing. Bench print promotion,
to make a vehicle that can allow these kind of local
technically, and everybody has the right to say it's bench print promotion, and then even later, if it gets later on, But the first result, it has to be perfectly, you have to let him do more of it.
So anyway, so power is the single main cause, the main justification for getting a higher power class or having the need for 2 motors or 3 motors on the bike.
Regular, not regular, within the technology of family. Yeah, within the what's happening? The mine only one. Yeah, one time when you. That's right, and then yeah, otherwise, yeah, because what happened? Then, yeah, everybody have their own kind of thing. Yeah.
So I, as a habit, would always carry backup gear.
Because what's happened? The research when you do it and you might, it will cost expensive, and then you, yeah, if it was, yeah, this is what they're talking about. It's not the mind that wants your mind on things. It's just the thing. If they do too much, they're spending more than what they want to spend on their thing. Yeah, like or
I think it's 7,000 kilometers or so in total. But now he's spanning massive, beautiful lengths of countryside where there's no hope at all of getting in.
No, this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. There's someone changing we didn't really go down that part. This place here, it's been mind game. Yeah, this one's been my mind game. Nothing wrong. I'm just okay. No, yeah, I thought that was something else. Yeah, because I'm not. Yeah, there's someone else industry was attracting me too. Yeah, industry. I almost thought of it. What's the result that you can? Oh no, I was just because what happened is someone else industry was trying to get me to his side. But
and then the last reason that sometimes comes up isn't a necessity like that, but a case of the nature of the vehicle itself is that as pretty much the only viable option. And this happens a few times with these Christiana-style cargo trikes. So in these trikes, you have a...
My dad always had to have a fish on his vehicle. Always, everybody sees it. He was going cross country and everything. They always must have a church kind of fish on it. Church kind of what do you call it? Fish on it.
You have a tricycle of this nature, but the back end is already committed.
And the Gibson is the outfit. Mostly the Gibson.
Installing a rear hub motor isn't really viable. Then two motors may be the only solution. Not necessarily because of the power, but just because that's what the geometry dictates is the only possibility. And there's other cases where it's done a little bit more aesthetic. So
sometimes you can build that obstacle of kind of thing. You can figure that out on that pattern.
Tiny geared hub motors. So even though one larger geared motor like
you could go. But if you go to church, and you can figure out some other kind of pattern.
Two really little discrete motors can give you the power benefits of the bigger hub motor drive, while keeping the aesthetic cleanliness of tiny motors.
That's good.
Also taken in the snow when you get the
she goes to church. If she likes the environment at the church and everything, she goes, then she can stick to church. She goes to the church.
So, that's some of the reasons why you should get or you may be following the start of an individual motor system. What I'm going to do for the next
there was two chickens, two flavored ones. The one had a herb and the one that just
one motor versus a two-motor drive, and trying to understand what the trade-offs are in that and how to pick and choose the best combination of motors for what you're trying to do. Not only choosing the right motors, but also choosing how best to drive the two to the best net vehicle efficiency.
And this is not the
So in this case here, when
you know when you're when you go to the school that
motor model that I used
online
in the
kind of
presentation a few weeks ago, where we did a deep technical explanation of how brushless or permanent magnet motors work.
Mostly people who are in the broken content, like very big broken content, they're the only one does the online schooling, that area. Because their homes are very far with the farming, in that area is a farming home all over the place, they follow it, so they do, sometimes they do home schooling because it costs you more, so that much cost they can do it at home, home schooling, like that. Some parents do their schooling, because some parents are teachers doing schooling at home too, and online too, both,
But in general, if you have
depends on the platform of the,
electrically exactly the same as having
but some
one
parents,
single
the
motor,
one schooling, that's how come all of it,
windings is just half as much. So it gives you like a new motor model where we're 0.15 ohms instead of 0.3 ohms. But it also, being twice the size, has double the core losses. So in the motor example that we used, that our understanding of motor presentation, I used made an assumption that the motor to core loss is 0.1 watts per RPM. So if it's spinning at 100 RPM, there's 10 watts of
we did get some of these. We'll have to save that for later. We did get some bigger panels on that, but that's good.
Current inside the stator. And if we were to model a dual motor, we would have to double that value to 0.2 watts per RPM. So for a double motor setup, if we're spinning at 100 RPM, we have 20 watts that
maybe
be generated inside. But being double the size, we'll also have double the thermal mass, and there's two separate motors.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna pause it here for us. Someone here, then check it out. Yeah, I wanna. Or else I wanna go get something just to.
Exactly. That's the model of what the performance of the
that's the thing that we all need in our home. Yeah, that's the thing that my mom does.
Cut the resistance in half, double the core loss curve, and then that modeling tool will give you an expected output for the dual hub. So what I'm going to do now is just compare. We're going to
there was only one week skip. Yeah, just like when mine was the glazing the regular food thing. Yeah, that's right.
10 RPM for volt 0.30.
Oh, yeah, this one.
And we're going to see
right here.
Comparison, the performance compares when we have just one of these motors on the bike or if we have two of them on the bike. When you're running at a high power situation,
oh yeah, I'm pelting for turkey. It's a Thanksgiving Day kind of thing. Yeah, we're gonna pelt, and we're gonna turkey's like a headband. Bandana.
each motor only needs to provide half the point. But when we're understanding of how motors,
cutting is
torque means exactly half the phase current flowing through the motor windings. And as we know from our understanding of electronics, if we have half the phase current, in this case 20 amps versus 40 amps, that results in 1/4 the amount of copper losses or heat generated from copper losses inside each motor winding. So here is a single motor case. Let's assume that we're going up a hill that needs 38 meters of torque. Using the same sequence presented as last time. The motor's going to slow down to 40 RPM, generating 24 volts of back EMF voltage for a resulting 40 amps flowing through the motor windings. And with 40 amps flowing, that results in 40 squared times 0.3 or 400 of power being formed just as heat inside the copper. Because the motor's spinning, it's spinning at 240 RPM and has core losses. The core losses at that speed are going to be 24 watts. So our total amount of power that we're losing inside the hub is 480 plus 24 or 504 watts of heat that we're generating. Now we can compute the efficiency of the motor, knowing how much electrical power is coming out of the motor, which you can figure out is 966 watts.
spamming the YouTube, YouTube from the broadcast.
936 watts divided by
No, don't you can't say that. You can't say that my broadcast already moderated enough. What is spamming it?
Generated inside the motor is an enormous amount of heat. So, your typical space heater that you use to warm up room in the cold winter might be a kilowatt. So it's like having half the space heater inside the small flange of the motor. And pretty much every single motor that we have ever dealt with or seen for an e-bike would absolutely cook sustain 500 watts. Be able to split 500 watts.
Yeah, you're spamming it.
Yeah,
the guy
short
with
term is fine.
spamming it on
The motor will warm up as it's being exposed to that, but it'll never sustain 500 watts.
Yeah, that's not
Hey there, friend. How can I help you?
500 watts without the core getting to a point that's going to damage the copper. So now if we do that Okay, then.
Have a motor producing only half the torque.
Seems I buy this near every day.
Going through the stator, stepping through the same set of equations.
As I
said, it was going to be 1/4 the amount of copper losses. So instead of 480 watts, we now have 20 squared times 0.3 or 120 watts.
And you can't say it either because
I shouldn't say. It's because there's less current going through here.
Appreciate it.
Voltage drop across the winding, so the motor is actually able to spin at a higher speed while producing 20 amps. So instead of the motor being slowed down to 240 RPM, it now actually has a faster.
Done and done.
The output power of each motor is 570 watts. So combined, we have 1140 watts. The efficiency of the motor running to 20 amps is now a fair bit higher, 570 watts over 720 watts. The output power is 79%. But most importantly, the heat generated inside the hub, now our copper losses are 1/4 of much. Our core losses are a little bit higher.
Pretty standard fare these days.
We're spinning the motor at a slightly higher speed.
Seems I buy this near every day.
Here, but it's only 150 watts. So you can see that it's in between 3 and 4 times less heat that the motor has to shed. And 150 watts is the kind of power level that
I sold that. Yeah, double six. That's okay.
Can shed indefinitely without any worry of them overheating. At
Okay, this one we'll save for the
motor will get quite
animals.
hot, to the tune of 100, 110 degrees Celsius. But it's not something that will result in inevitable failure.
You enjoy that.
Now, this is the analysis of just one motor. The total consumption for itself is that.
That's a big voice. Yeah, there's no big voice.
Motors.
I have no clue what that is.
Where you have exactly half the resistance for the effective single motor that emulates both motors. You can see then that switching from one motor to two motor has a massive and dramatic effect on how safe a motor is going to be when it's in this high-loaded application. And here's a real-world example of that. When we were building our for the subject, I first started.
We don't want to learn any other languages there.
Howdy. Nice to see you.
And I was mostly testing the mechanics of the rowing rig, the solar panels, other systems. I wasn't too concerned if it wouldn't be able to go over the Alps that we're going to encounter on the Suntrip race itself. But we found that even just the hills of Vancouver, and we're talking climbing a couple hundred meters at most, was causing the motor to overheat. And the whole system
You are quickly becoming my favorite associate. Evening. Come on, time for you to go.
This crew, they complaining.
They're 4-drive motors of a similar nominal size and dimensions, and with the two motors, we were able to do 2,000 meters climbing up through the Alps, and just barely hit 100 degrees, the hottest our motor's ever gone. So it shows what a dramatic difference that can produce. So here, you can do exactly the same thing if you use our motor simulator tool. So here I've got the Muxus direct drive motor that we had on the Suntrip trike. I figure we're somewhere around 200 kilograms for both me and my wife, the weight of the heavy vehicle, the solar panels, all of that gear. Just a marginal 100 watts of power from both of us. But with this system, we're climbing a 6% grade hill, which is not crazy steep. That's around the grade you have when you just have a long, steady path or winding road going up the mountain. But you can see the prediction is that the steady state temperature of the motor would reach over 170 degrees Celsius. And that's the temperature that would cause the grease to sort of smoke out of the ball bearing. Burn off the insulation to certainly melt.
Good evening, sir.
Covers the cable that goes into the axle of the motor. So without some kind of rollback, this can spell a bit of a disaster. So this makes it seem like such a no-brainer. Well,
back again? It's my friendly face, isn't it?
Have less consumption.
Well.
So sorry, and then I wanted to jump in here. So now we do precisely the same simulation. And just so you guys know, for each one of these examples that I've done on the simulator, I have the link that will open that exact same simulation for you. So when this presentation is done, I'm going to go through and post a copy of the presentation slides and also update the comments to have all these links. So if somebody wanted to play with the same values and then move the cursor around and added another motor, the same motor, same battery pack,
I'll leave this one off.
configuration for wheel diameter motor controller. And then it gives us an output of a combined both systems. And you can see now that the same 6% grade climb is going to reach a steady state motor temperature of 67 degrees, which is not even warm to the touch for a hub motor. And that's climbing, you know, a 200 kilogram or almost 450 pound vehicle up a 6% grade. It would just handily do that non-stop day and night. And while doing that, it achieves a fair bit higher motor efficiency. So now we're 84% efficient on the motors versus 76% or 77% with the single hub, much cooler final temperature. Interestingly, you would have thought, oh well, since the motors are running more efficiently, then I'm going to use less battery and have better watt hours per kilometer. You'll notice that the watt hours per kilometer in both these simulations is identical. The reason for that is that with two motors, we're able to climb that hill faster. So we're now moving along at 28 instead of 24 kilometers an hour. So there's more air drag to overcome. And it also means that with the same amount of human power input, we're using less human power per given distance that we travel. It's the same 200 watts, but we're moving further with dual motors in a given time period than we are with one motor. So the net amount of human watts that's contributing to climbing up this hill is less. And that means the larger share, again, is being done by the motors instead of our muscles. So the simulation results in exactly the same watt hours per kilometer, but that's because we've used more of the motor to climb the hill, and we've had more drag climbing at a faster speed, causing those two numbers to come out the same. So yeah, so that seems like definitely a no-brainer to put two motors on, advantages in every single metric. But now I want to look at what happens when you're running two motors at a low power level. Because when you're on a bike trip or an e-bike trip, you're not always climbing up a 6% grade. On average, you hope your trip is 0% grade. There's downhill sections. And here we'll look at this. But now let's look at having a situation where we only need 10 or 9.5 newton meters of torque. So this would be pretty representative. 10
I heard one of them damn brace brakes has been bothering his nanny.
Along at the flats using a couple hundred watts.
Don't surprise me in
so
the
here with
least.
one motor, we can run through that same set of computation with just 10 amps flowing. There's
there it is.
more voltage across the motor versus being lost across the winding resistance. So the vacuum of the motor will be 33 volts while it's spinning at 330 RPM. And the copper losses, which is 10 amps, and this is where that I squared term for heat generation really becomes pretty dramatic. We've now gone from 480 watts copper loss in the last simulation to just 30 watts. We only have 10 amps flowing through. So that's even slightly less than the core losses of the motor. And so we can compute the total output power and the final efficiency, which works out to be about 83%. And now we're only producing 63 watts of power of heat to dissipate in the motor, which is not an issue whatsoever. Now let's look at that situation of light loading with dual motors. So with two motors now, each motor only needs to do 4.5 newton meters of output rather than 9.5 newton meters. So that means 5 amps instead of 10 amps of base current. That will allow the motors to spin even a little bit faster. So we'll now be moving at 345 RPM instead of 330. So the dual motor system will be going a little bit faster. That higher speed means that we have a little bit more core loss inside each motor. But our copper loss is now super low. So at 5 amps, we only have 7.5 watts, but you won't even notice 7.5 watts inside something as heavy as a hub motor. But the total losses from both motors, when you add the 34 watts of copper and the 7.5 watts of core losses, that's 49.5 watts per motor, which is less than this one, but we have two motors. So now we actually have, in total, 100 watts of heat that we need to get through. It's nowhere near going to cause any concerns of overheating the motor, but it does start to drop our efficiency. So now our net efficiency with this load shared over two motors at low torque outputs is just 77%.
Cars are still unkind.
And you can see that. So with our simulator using the exact
That's
same
just the way of things, I guess.
I've switched it to a 0% grade instead of climbing a 6% grade, but I've still left us as a really heavy 450-pound vehicle. And it surprised me a little bit to see this too, but even with this 450-pound vehicle like this, if we ran just one hub motor, you can see that we're running that motor at close to 84%
on the new railroad for those who know which way the stick flows.
Be long enough to cause the motor to overheat. We might be better off just with one motor overall, that our net consumption and the times when the efficiency is higher are outnumber the times when the efficiency is lower. So here, the temperature heating of the motors is just a non-factor either way. Two motors are slightly cooler, 40 degrees instead of 42, but the two-motor system has a higher consumption, and that's a downside to two motors and having both motors running. So the kind of obvious question is, okay, well, that's pretty clear-cut. There's no point running both motors when you need a small power output, so why don't we just turn on one of the motors and off the other motor, and that way we can run the motor at its higher efficiency with this lower power level. Sure. So here we've got the same two direct drive hub motors, and our simulator lets us do all those things. So if we want to simulate only one motor being active at this speed, what I've done is I've converted this second motor, system B, to a standard voltage controller and just set the throttle really low. So you can see here at the very low speed, you can see the power output of both motors being present, but all the way over here, we're doing the simulation with only one motor running. And now you can see that system A, the motor that is doing all the work, is at that same 84.5% efficiency as we had with the one motor simulation. But system B, the motor that we're not driving, it's not that it's just out of the picture. It actually has negative 27 watts of power. It's absorbing power that the other motor has to push through. So even though this motor is putting out 212 watts, 27 of those watts is getting absorbed by the second motor that we're not running. So the net effect is that there's only 185 watts pushing the vehicle, because almost 30 of those watts is going just to turn the motor that we thought we turned off. And when you factor that into account,
Got to help talking about that boy you got killed in the road. Seems to have them all shook up.
Absolutely no gain.
Well, that comes as no
It's
surprise.
actually even a little bit worse. And that's because when you have two direct drive motors, when you turn it off, you're not dropping the power to 0 watts. You're going negative. The core losses are still present whether or not you're trying to drive the motor. And all you've done by moving your power to one hub instead of both is put all your copper loss into one. And because of copper loss, because it's a square of the current, you've now added more total motor losses than when you had that copper split over both of them. The core losses are the same, the copper's a bit higher, and the effect is an even worse net efficiency. Alright, so that's the situation with dual direct drive hub motors. If you have two direct drive motors in the setup, and that you're doing that because of these reasons, when you need the torque and power capability of dual motors, you have core losses on both
I caught some reprobate shambling around my backyard yesterday. Went straight to the law, of course.
Always want
I
to
swear,
share
this
the
place
power
is going
equally
straight to
between both
hell.
motors. And if the motors are different sizes, so say you have a big 50mm stator on the rear motor and a 35mm on the front motor, the most efficiency is to split that power that you deliver to the motors by the same ratio of their motor bulk or motor size. So in this case, you sort of do about 60% of power in the rear, 40% in the front, and you would keep that ratio over your whole speed range. It never makes sense to think, oh, now I'm doing a big climb, I'm going to switch only to the rear motor, to the bigger motor, and okay, now I'm cruising on the flat, I don't need my power, I'm only going to use the smaller, more efficient front motor. You always want to share both motors, share the load to both motors. So when you're doing a dual motor system with two direct drive motors, it never makes sense to run just one. You always run them both together at the same time. And when it comes to the choice of the motors, ideally it's the same wheel diameter. You can use the same motor series and then have exactly the same frequency. If you have a motor that's wheel that's smaller than the other
the new
motor has to then
railroad for those
overcome,
who know
and you're
which
just
way to stick
wasting energy
those.
circulating between the two motors that way. So this was a dual motor e-bike that when I did that were the popular motor of the era. So now I'm going to talk about a different tack for dual motor setups, and that's to use one geared hub motor and one direct drive hub motor. And this arguably is a better, if it's an option for you, it's a better approach on the whole, because you end up having the choice, having the benefit of and advantages of geared and direct drives in the same setup. So geared motors generally have good efficiency at those high torque and lower speed situations, where the direct drive motors tend to drop off quite a bit in the efficiency curve. But the direct drive motor
still on
still have a hub motor that
waiting
can do
on that
regenerative
winning
braking
speed for some
after
time.
all the regen energy
That's
is
just
going
the way of
downhill
things,
and
I
then you're
guess.
stopping. But the benefit of having the one geared motor system is that when I use the term geared motor for this presentation, I'm talking about a geared motor with an internal freewheel. So obviously a GMAC motor or any geared motor that was modified not to have a clutch is in the class of a direct drive motor for the sake of this presentation here. The benefits of one geared and one direct drive is that when you want to run just one hub motor, if you run the direct drive motor and you don't put any power in the geared motor, it freewheels without any drag on the system. There's no core losses present. The motor actually stops spinning. And that means that that analysis that I just did of running one motor versus running both motors no longer holds. When you run just the one motor, you don't have losses caused from the other motor, and you can have a better efficiency switching over to being single motor at those lower torque situations, and then running both motors only when your situation
Got
requires
to help
it, and that's
talking
when
about that
everything
boy
would
you
be
got
high
killed
power
in the
levels.
roads. Seems to have them
So
all
if you're
shook
doing a system
up.
with a geared
Well, that comes
and
as
direct
no
drive motor in
surprise.
combination, your ideal uses is to share the load between both motors whenever the power levels are medium to high, switch to only the direct drive motors at lower power levels, and in those situations should you run the geared motor but not power up the direct drive motor, because in the geared motor this other hub, and you're going to be worse total efficiency. Another thing to note is that for the same power class motor, direct drive motors tend to have higher winding resistance than a geared motor. So when it comes to sharing, how would I split the load between a geared and a direct drive motor here? The best result is not to split that load evenly between them, even though both motors have the same nominal power. It's a bit of an improvement to have a higher share going to that geared motor when you're doing these higher power levels. So here I can illustrate that again with a simulation example. And this is basically the same setup that Robbie had on this bike here. We've got the easy motor in the back and the direct drive version 1 grin hub on the front. And here what I've done is I've superimposed both curves. I haven't added the two systems, they're showing them independently. And this highlights what I was talking about here. So system 1 is the easy motor, which is in a 20-inch wheel. So it has the additional advantage that it's a smaller size hub. To compensate for the smaller wheel size, you can use the faster RPM motor option. And you can see that it has sort of an unloaded speed of about 52 kilometers an hour. The efficiency of this easy motor and the power output, I'm running with exactly the same motor control or the same battery voltage. It does way better than the direct drive motor when we're heavily loaded doing high power output. The efficiency, even when we're generating 40 plus newton meters.
I caught some reprobate shambling around my backyard yesterday. Went straight to the law.
About 70% realm, with a direct drive motor producing those same heavy torque outputs is running more like 50% efficiency. But the direct drive motor, you notice, has a higher peak efficiency when we're at lower power levels and lighter loads. This isn't just a high speed situation, so this whole graph would be the same if I was to reduce the throttle on both those so that I'm running, say, 30 kilometers an hour. You'd still have the same scenario where the direct drive motor would have a higher peak efficiency, and then the easy motor would have a better efficiency as the torque and the loads start to increase and we slow down further from our unloaded speed at that throttle voltage. So if we were to have this set up and share the power to both motors exactly the same way, the easy motor would be doing swimmingly well at these really high loads, while the direct drive would be running pretty poorly. efficiency of the easy motor went down for a net better output. So here you can see what the comparison curves look like where I've switched it up. So the easy motor is running a 50 amp maximum phase current, and then the direct drive motor is a 25 amp phase current. And you can see we're now much closer matched when we share the load here, or when we're running at these higher power points. The easy hub is doing more of the work, but the direct drive motor is now running better efficiency, and the overall net efficiency would be better with this kind of a ratio split of the power. That brings us to another dual motor situation where you use a combination of one mid-drive and one hub motor. And this really is the best of all worlds for scenarios you can envision for running a dual or a triple motor system, because not only do you have a direct drive motor that can do regenerative braking, capture all of your stopping and your downhill power, you have a mid-drive motor that allows for the absolute best efficiency when you're doing those really steep hill climbs where the bike has to slow down quite a bit. And the mid-drive motor, just like the geared hub motor, has no drag losses, no core losses when you're not powering it. So just like the last situation, and a dual motor situation like this, you want to use the direct drive motor whenever you're running low powers, and then switch to both the mid-drive and the hub motor, the direct drive hub motor at high power levels. But determining how to optimally share power between your direct drive motor and the mid-drive motor is quite tricky, because the optimal split will depend on exactly what ratio you have for your gear ratio on the mid-drive motor. And just as with the geared and direct drive situation, I say never, I mean, obviously you can do this, but it doesn't make system sense in order to power up the mid-drive motor and not have the direct drive motor powered at the same time. So some people have an existing mid-drive bike, but it's kind of too slow for the hill climbs. They need more power. They want more power, so they think, hey, can I add a hub motor to my system? But a common presumption of people doing that is that, oh, well, mid-drives are really efficient, so I'm only going to have the hub motor kick in when I'm doing the hill climb, and otherwise the mid-drive will be my default motor that's running all the time. But when you do that, the mid-drive will still be running efficiently at all those low power levels, but it now has to overcome the core loss of the direct drive motor, and the effect is that you have less net efficiency than if you didn't run the mid-drive and had all your low power efforts done through the hub motor instead. And then that brings us to the last situation that we've encountered, and that's running dual geared motors, or dual motors that freewheel. So this could also be a geared motor and a mid-drive motor. And in this situation, you lose the benefit of having regenerative braking, and so in a lot of situations that means your overall mileage is going to be worse because you lack that sort of 5 to 10% recapture you can get from a regen system. But it might be the most ideal situation if you're doing a bike touring trip where you expect really long stretches with no motor power at all. Then having a system where both motors freewheel means that you don't have any residual drag when you're pedaling the bike without the motors helping out. And just like the analysis that I did for two direct drive motors, in terms of optimal use of these motors, it makes sense to run just one motor when your power levels are low, and as soon as your power levels are medium to high, you want to split your load and run both motors together. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the motor winding speeds, and this is a very important design consideration when you're choosing the parts for a dual motor system. And one of the most common mistakes that we hear people making is thinking that they need to have one good low-speed motor that's great for torque and another motor that's really great for high speed. And then you'd switch over. Oh, I'm climbing a hill. I'm going to use my good low torque, my good high torque slow motor. And now, I'm racing along. I'm going to switch over to my fast motor. There's pretty much never a case where you want to switch wholly from one motor to the other motor. It's always better when you're dealing with medium to high powers to share that power amongst two hubs so that the copper loss gets to go down because of that I squared R term. A small reduction of copper losses of current is a large reduction of heat generation in each motor. And so you pretty much always want the ability to share the power between both motors regardless of your off between running one motor or running both motors is based on the torque requirement of the motor, not on the speed. So you want to make sure that both motors can help you at any speed that you're traveling in case the torque requirement is such that you're better off splitting over to both motors. And because of that, it really makes sense to, as best as you can, choose your motors to have the same unloaded speed. If you can't do that, and it's often the case that given the nature of motors on the market, sometimes there's only one winding speed available. Sometimes, they're discrete speeds. Typically, we only have, 2 winding speeds for each motor category, a standard and a fast, for instance. The idea is that the fast motor in a 20-inch wheel is roughly the same as a standard motor in a 26-inch wheel. But what if you have a 16-inch wheel or you're running 700C or 29er sizes? You're not going to get exactly the same unloaded speeds. When you're mixing wheel diameters or brands or models of motors, it's basically impossible to find two that have precisely the same top speed. But I'm going to get to it in a little bit. Depending on your motor controllers that you use, matching them perfectly really isn't all that necessary. But you can also use field weakening. So if you have a motor controller that has field weakening features, that can let you increase the speed of the slower system to match, so that you never have a scenario where only one motor is able to provide power. They can both provide power right up to the top vehicle speed. So now we get into the more challenging aspect. So the most obvious approach to a dual motor system is just to have 2 totally independent setups. So this bike that I showed you from the guy on the Cross Canada trip, he just had 2 throttles. There's a left-hand throttle bar and a right-hand throttle bar, and he could manually just control how much power is going to each motor. Now his system with dual direct drive motors has no benefit to doing that. There's no case where you'd want to have more power in one motor than the other motor. So this is a silly approach. Not only is it extra taxing for the rider to think consciously about what's going on with both motor setups, but it also means that more often than not, he's going to be running less efficiently than if he just had one throttle and then split that throttle to both motor controllers, and that would ensure that both motors are always more or less running at the same power level. So this situation of 2 independent systems, it does make sense, or might make sense, if you already have a factory bike that has an integrated pedal torque sensor, the controllers inside the motor chassis, there's no way to tap into wires to feed it an external throttle, and that factory bike needs a secondary motor to supplement the power for the application that you have. So you might think, okay, I'll just add a front hub to my e-bike, and then I'll just have a separate throttle with the front hub whenever I need it. And if your goal for the second motor is to have it be, a boost or a helper on the hills, but not something that you're using all the time, then the inconvenience of having to remember to think about powering up the second setup isn't that big of an inconvenience. So yeah, if you have a tightly integrated bike and you want to add a second motor, this may be really the only really viable option without some much deeper hacking of the electronics. But for the most part, we really want to set up a dual or a multi-motor bike where there's a single control for the rider. The rider just has to say more power or less power, and the system will automatically figure out how to divvy up that power between the 2 or more motors that are on the bike. Now the approach that we've used often enough, and we've actually made as a product here at Dual Throttle Splitter Cable. So this we've had for sale for, I think, over 15 years now, because people have been doing dual motor bikes for a long time. And effectively we're doing, just as you see in this diagram here, we have one throttle going to the handlebar, and instead of that going just to one motor controller, we splice into the signal wiring, and we split the signal, which is the green wire here, to go to 2 different plugs, so that same signal goes to the throttle input of 2 different motor controllers. You notice in this diagram that I'm not splitting the red wire, the 5-volt power, between both of the controller plugs. You could do that, and assuming both controllers are powered on, it's just fine. But you can wind up with some complications if one controller gets turned off, and that controller is getting 5 volts via the throttle line of the other controller. In some models of controllers, that can result in weird behavior. In these controllers often just have a diode in line with the 5-volt output, which would make it harmless to share the 5 volts. But as a general precaution, we've typically had this, when we split things, we kind of have one controller that's the dominant one supplying the other one only receives a signal back, but we're not sharing in parallel the 5 volts power bus. So this system, if you have a bike that's just throttle controlled bike, that's all you need to do. You just split that throttle to both motor controllers. But most bikes these days are running with pedal sensors or torque sensors, some kind of pedalette control. And if you want your pedaling efforts to split between 2 motor systems, then the setup ends up being a bit more complicated. So if you have a bike where the motor controller takes the pedal sensor directly, so almost all standard conversion kits that have pedal sensing, the pedal sensing input is just like the throttle plug of the controller. It's another plug that goes to the controller. The controller then reads those signals and determines how much power to send the motor, and it does that based often on the input setting from a little display. You have a display to increase or decrease your assist level or go between eco, turbo, boost modes, whatever they want to call it. And if you want to have 2 motors running, you can only have 1 pedal sensor on the bike or 1 torque sensor. So you may be able to, just like we did with the throttle here, actually splice into the wiring of your pedal sensor and then split those signals to go to both motor controllers so they both receive the cadence pulses or the torque voltage. But if you have a setup where you control the assist level with the display, you would need 2 displays, 1 for each motor controller. You can't have 1 display of your standard, king meter style or topology or any of the displays of the communication protocol to the controller. You can't have 1 display controlling 2 because there's back and forth communication between them. The approach that we always dealt with, of course, is through our cycle analyst display, which works on a very different operating principle than a standard bike display, where instead of the pedal sensors going to the motor controller, our pedal sensors goes to the cycle analyst, and the cycle analyst then does all of its own feedback loops and controls to make its own signal to regulate the motor controllers via just a throttle plug. So at some point, as we started doing more and more dual motor systems, we realized the need for dual motor systems that have pedal sensors, but also that have a display that shows the combined output of both motor controllers. So some people are actually mounting 2 separate cycle analysts on their bike to see what was going on for each system. But for the most part, you just want to see, on the whole, what's the net consumption. So what we made here was a dual controller CA shunt. So this is the same shunt that we have for our standalone cycle analyst that plugs in between the battery pack and the motor controller. And inside this wiring, there's a precision 1 milliohm sense resistor that is able to sense how many amps are flowing from the battery, and that signal makes its way to the cycle analyst via this 6-pin cycle analyst plug. For the dual controller shunt, what we did is we took the throttle output signal from the cycle analyst, and then we split that into 2 throttle plugs for each motor controller. So here's the 6-pin cycle analyst plug, and then it goes to 2 3-pin throttle plugs that plug into the controller's throttle input. So in this kind of setup, you have 1 display that's able to control and regulate both motor controllers with a pedal sensor input, with a throttle input, and you get to see on your display the combined output power of both systems. And even if one, say motor controller 2 is set up to do half the current of controller 1, the current flowing through the shunt is always the sum of those 2. So it'll always very accurately and exactly show how many amps are being consumed from the battery pack for both systems. So that was our go-to dual motor drive solution for quite a while, but it has some inconveniences that you're not using the cycle analyst plug on the motor controller. As a result, you don't have the speed sensor passing through here. You have this extra component to wire up in the system. So last year we started toying with the idea of doing a totally different approach, and instead of doing a splitter cable on the throttle, let's now split the cycle analyst plug. So instead of having 1 cycle analyst plug going into 2 throttles, it now goes into 2 cycle analyst plugs. And that's what this cable here is. So this system we've designed, this would work with the older JST connector for the cycle analyst, but we're now, as some of you are probably aware, switching our plug standard from JST to an 8-pin HIGO connector. So the new version 3 cycle analyst, the CA3WP, have this 8-pin plug. And for people wanting to do a dual motor system now, all they have to do is plug in the Y splitter. Instead of the cycle analyst going straight to the motor controller, it goes in through a splitter cable that now allows you to have 2 cycle analyst plugs in each motor controller. And internally here, there's 8 pins that link the motor controller to the cycle analyst. Some of those are being shared to both motor controllers. So that would include the on-off power switch. That would include, of course, the current sensor to sense how many amps are flowing across each of the internal shunts. And obviously the throttle signal from the cycle analyst is split to both of these things. But there's other signals in this plug that only come from one of the motor controllers. And that includes, for instance, the speed signal. So now if this controller has a speed pulse coming from the hall sensors of the motor, or coming from the internally generated pulse of the motor controller, that signal will make its way right through to the cycle analyst without you needing to hook up a separate speed sensor. But you can only have one speed signal going to the cycle analyst. If both of them went at the same time, those signals would be conflicting because they wouldn't be in sync. Similarly, this new plug has the capacity to pass through a motor temperature. So if you have a motor hooked up with a temperature sensor in it, that signal will make its way through the plug straight up to the cycle analyst, but you would only get that temperature from one of the motors, not from both of them. So with this dual splitter cable, we basically have a piece of red heat shrink that identifies, you can see it here, which is the primary controller that has all the signals coming from it, and then which one is the secondary controller where you're not going to see that info on the display. So for the speed, it doesn't really matter. You only need to get the speed from one motor controller. For the temperatures, it would kind of make sense that you're doing this setup and you have 2 different classes of motor to have the primary controller be the one that's hooked up to the most likely to overheat motor in your system. With identical motors, you can always presume that the temperature of both motors will be identical, so you only really need to measure one temperature sensor from them. This also is a benefit. One of the additional wires in the WP8 plug is the on-off power switch, and so with this system, you can have a single on-off button on the handlebar, and that will shut both motor controls of both setups on and off together, instead of needing to turn off each motor controller individually. So that's, one of the tricks to this system, and anyone can DIY their own splitter cable for the cycle analyst plug. Here I've shown sort of the data sheet that we had to spec the cable, and you can see there's wires that split. So for instance, the green is a throttle signal that goes from one plug and also splits to the other plug. But where we split the current sensing for the controller shunt, so that's the blue and the yellow wires, we split them with these 1 ohm resistors in them. And so the net effect of doing that is that the current sensing signal that the cycle analyst sees is more or less the average shunt voltage from each motor controller. And when you tap into the existing controller shunts this way, you need to type in half the R shunt value of the cycle analyst for the cycle analyst to show the actual average current from both motor controllers. So in the case of a phase runner and a base runner, those are 1 milliohm internal shunts. When you use a parallel connected splitter cable to have both controllers run to one cycle analyst, we're basically parallel connecting the shunts as well. And when you parallel connect 2 shunts of the same value, you have 1 shunt that's half the value. So in this case, when you use this cable, you need to make sure to set up the R shunt to 0.5 milliohms if it's phase runners and base runners. If it's a controller with a 5 milliohm internal shunt, then you would set this to 2.5 milliohms. But it will work even if only one controller is running. It'll still show the actual current from just one controller. So it's not assuming that both controllers draw the same power. If you have all your voltage drop across this controller and nothing across this one, because of this voltage divider with the resistors, you basically get half that shunt, the voltage drop leak into the cycle analyst, but because you set our shunt value to be 1/2, it ends up displaying the correct amount of current. So going forward, this approach here is going to be the main way that we suggest people run these motor systems, because the hookup and wiring is pretty clean and simple, and it takes advantage of all the extra signals that are present in the CW8 plugs here. So now we get to the point where I showed you in the earlier analysis that except in the case of dual direct drive motors where you want a perfectly even split of power all the times in all situations, for the more interesting scenarios of mixing mid-drives and hub motors or geared motors and direct drive motors, you don't necessarily want the power to be shared equally, but you also don't want to be manually adjusting that split. So when you have mismatched kV and diameter, or wheel diameters, if you give exactly the same throttle signal to both motor systems, if you're using a conventional e-bike controller where the throttle
I'm sitting down with him, exactly, it's just only not anybody else.
The voltage going to the motor,
thinking is so much, they're not, it's clear brain, just bringing the stuff, but that's why.
Signal, but one motor has an unlimited speed of 40 kilometers an hour, the other one is, 30 kilometers an hour, not completely different. That 40 kilometer an hour motor, if you go part throttle, it's going to do all the work at 20 kilometers an hour. You give it a bit more throttle to go to 30, it'll be doing all the work at 30. The only time when you would actually share it properly between both is when you go full throttle at low speeds, and the motor controllers are limited by their battery current limit. So that situation of a power split with mismatched KVs with generic
You're looking to park there. That's a nice fur.
Problematic. There isn't an easy way to handle that situation. The scenario or the solution to this is not to use motor controllers that have a voltage PWM throttle, but to use motor controllers where you have a current or an amp throttle or a torque throttle. So, for instance, the field-oriented controller, stationary or basement, or when you give it part throttle, you're commanding a fraction of torque of the motor, not commanding the motor to spin at a given speed. Lots of other motor controllers, I think most of the Kelly controllers can operate as a current throttle instead of a voltage throttle. When you run your systems with a torque-based throttle, then you give it the same throttle signal.
It looks like it's going to be the second day.
Look after seeing that both motors produce the same torque, or that they produce a different torque but in the same ratio. So torque-based motor controllers make it infinitely easier to set up and design a dual or triple motor system like, because you can play with that ratio of how much torque is generated for each throttle voltage and have it automatically account for not perfectly matched winding speeds and motor KVs. So that takes a big simplification to designing and setting up these kinds of systems. So here, so here I'm showing what happens. So here I've got it set up with a typical voltage style of motor controller, and I'm just showing what happens when you vary the throttle with a voltage-based motor controller. So this is at low throttles. As we increase the throttle, this is the power curve and the torque curve of the motor. We're basically just shifting the torque curve further to the right as our throttle level increases. So at a low throttle, there's tons of power at low speeds, but no power at high speeds. And it's this portion of the curve that moves back and forth with the throttle voltage. So here I'm going to show the same example, but instead of animated just technical when it starts, so wait till it starts. But here I'm doing exactly the same motor, but now I'm using a controller that has a torque-based throttle rather than a voltage throttle. And this illustrates what part throttle means with the torque-based motor controller. So here you see I switch it. It's a torque throttle, not a voltage throttle. Now when we simulate it, so we're going to run, from 0 to full throttle, you'll see that at every single speed we have torque. As the throttle is increasing, we're just increasing the torque available at any given speed. As you get up to your maximum throttles, the curves look identically the same, but at part throttles, the behavior is really different with the voltage-based throttle or a torque-based throttle. And this torque throttle has even torque no matter where you're at in the speed range, and that means you can safely mix and match setups that have different unloaded speeds. So here again, I'll do a simulation example back to that same one that we had. So we had the 20-inch fast RPM easy motor and then the 26-inch direct drive motor in the front. And you can see that this easy motor has a faster unloaded speed. So here we're at about 38.9 kilometers an hour, whereas the direct drive has an unloaded speed of about 35.5 kilometers an hour. Not a huge difference, but clearly the easy motor in the 20-inch wheel is faster than this winding in 26-inch wheel. And now I'm going to do that exact same simulation where we're running a voltage-based motor controller. Actually, not quite the same simulation. So here what I've done is I've set it up for auto throttle and just shown you, if you pay attention down here, so now we're adding up the two systems. So here the direct drive motor and outputs are being summed. Looking at the curve, it looks like
Not the science, some kind of the texture, all that diagram.
Let's just start off from the beginning again. You'll see that System A, the faster line motor, now you can see that the share of power is even more or less between both these motors. So motor system A and system B are both producing equally over the whole range. The only place you didn't see that equal split was right at the start when I was close to the unloaded speed. And in this case, that's just because the direct drive motor is too slow. The gear motor is a higher unloaded speed. So after this range of the curve, it's really only the gear motor doing the work. But if we're lower, that's shared nice and equally. So torque throttles make for kind of the only way to set the line when the motor's unloaded speeds aren't matching. So that was one aspect of splitting the power that we discussed, making sure that it's shared equally or roughly in ratio of the motor's power capability. But the other thing that we talked about, optimal usage, was switching over from one motor driving to two motors. And I showed you that in any case you have one of the motors in your motor system that has a built-in freewheel, it's advantageous to both powers to just not run that motor, and then you eliminate those core losses from the system performance. Now I do want to say that you really don't need to do this. There's no harm running all the motors equally. Yes, your consumption and efficiency, your consumption is going to be a bit higher, your efficiency will be a bit lower when you're running at low powers, but that at low powers, if your efficiency is a bit lower, the net effect on your battery usage or your range isn't really determined by those low power situations. Most of your climbing hills are using high power accelerating and whatnot. So you don't need to refine the system so much that it switches from one motor to two motor automatically. But if you really do want to get the best out of it, or if you're looking out on this stuff, there are some fun ways that you can use throttle mapping in order to automatically switch between one and two motors without any manual intervention and without doing some kind of advanced circuit or software that tries to choose when you switch between one motor and two motors. So in a motor controller like our phase runner base runner suite, or phase runner base runner, we can fully control the throttle map for each system. So that determines at what voltage the torque starts to flow through the motor and at what throttle voltage you get the maximum torque. And this allows for a really straightforward way of customizing the throttle map for your system setup so that in one system, here we have it, so that the motor only starts to output when the throttle voltage gets close to 2 volts. And our first system, system A here, the motor starts to power at 1.1 volts. So as you go with part 4, only system A is going to have any motor power going through it. System B, we're in the deadband zone. And then once we get to a point where we're commanding enough torque that we think it's worthwhile to have both motors in the picture, about 2 volts, we now start seeing the second motor kick in. And then as you get to higher and higher powers, it then starts to share somewhat.
It's not in one viral just because this is a different
it's not the optimal arrangement. Ideally, there's a bit more of a step function here. There is a trick to making a step function in the phase runner software that unfortunately don't have a slide for it, which is a glitch. But for now, know that you can do a throttle map like this to make that 1 to 2 motor transition just happen automatically. And it only makes sense to do this, of course, when the second motor, the system over here, freewheels. So we'd never do this when this is a direct drive motor or the gear motor with a lock clutch. That's always the case. So that's, one clever optimization that's possible to still give you the simplicity of a single throttle and not having to use it to manually determine when to run both motors or one motor. So this is the slide that, unfortunately, I was really looking forward to using here, but our website, as many of you probably noticed, crashed at some point last night when I was later and it's still down at the moment. Where it's going to show how you can use our motor simulator tool in order to find the optimal transition point when you should switch from one motor to 2 motors driving. And effectively this is, you can imagine what the simulation is like. You simulate with a single hub motor, and then you use the simulation set, and you increase the rate of build from 0% to 20% or whatever, and you save that data to the spreadsheet. It just outputs the data from the simulation set as comma-separated values, and you can paste in the spreadsheet. And then you run that exact same simulation set with 2 motors, and then the spreadsheet results of those 2 things. You can compare them, superimpose the graphs, and then you see
that's we had to do that. Yeah, wait, and then we did. Yeah, this guy was representing like someone that some third world was saying it in the graphic designer is standing there. This is the thing. These guys doesn't want them in a classroom. Yeah, classroom. Even they're pretty, yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of thing. Yeah. No, you can have it, but it's just a bug. Someone started up the bug stance to kind of move. I'm not giving anything with the class, but you just need to do bug stance.
Analysis beforehand. I just used what seemed about right from my gut feeling on when it makes sense to switch over. Usually somewhere around sort of 15 and beyond that, start having more dominant copper losses in the motor, and you're better off switching to sharing those copper losses over two motors, because the copper losses are now more significant than the core losses. So that really covers the whole meat of what I wanted to get out of this presentation.
Top chat replies
There's a few
in
other
this
things
one,
that
yeah.
come up pretty often in terms of questioning, and one of them relates to differential control. So whenever you have a tricycle or a quad, and you're steering or you're doing any cornering, the wheel that's to the outside spins faster than the wheel that's to the inside. And when you have a mechanical link drivetrain, so any kind of vehicle or any, sometimes you have a tricycle where you pedal and it goes through a differential, you need a differential so that these torque-producing motors can spin at different speeds. If you don't have that, if you just have a fixed axis with both wheels spinning at the same speed and you can corner, then either the outside motor skids or the inside motor skids, and you end up wasting a fair bit of energy to tire friction. And in a mechanical linkage, differentials are critical, and that's probably why they're on lots of people's minds when we talk about dual motors.
Only shows up at the front
With electric motors, there's no analogy to dual mechanically linked motors. It's absolutely no problem to have one motor spin faster than the other, and it's no situation where you need to give separate controls, separate throttle commands to the outside motor versus the inside motor, unless that's how you're actually steering the vehicle. So if you're doing a system with tank steering, a hoverboard is a perfect example where the whole steering is done by making one motor spin faster than the other. But if you have a situation where your steering is mechanical, there's really never any situation where you want to independently throttle one motor more or less than the other motor. So if you have a system with a torque-based motor controller, and this is what we generally advise for people doing dual motor systems, when you're cornering and the outside motor is spinning faster than the inside motor, the controllers ensure that both motors are producing exactly the same torque. A motor that spins faster with the same torque is going to be producing more power. So if you were to actually look at the watts, there's going to be more watts flowing through the outside motor than the inside motor. And so what? If you have, conversely, a generic controller that has a voltage-based model, then when you're cornering, the inside motor is spinning slower than the outside motor. And when you slow down a controller that has a voltage-based throttle, the torque and the power of that motor increases. So in this situation, you have the opposite there. As you're cornering, the inside motor has more power than the outside motor. That's a little bit less ideal from a net efficiency perspective, but the effect is small and insignificant unless you're riding in a perpetual type of circle. You'll never notice any actual difference in the consumption or efficiency by having driven the outside motor at a slightly higher voltage than the inside motor. For the most part, the relative speed difference when you're cornering is really, really small unless you're going extremely slow, because most corners are quite gentle by and large. So the main thing is don't concern yourself at all with differential control for inside and outside motors. Just share them. It doesn't really matter what you're cornering. If one motor produces a little bit more power than the other, they're not going to skid out. Totally fine. The speed of the motors being different, even though they're getting the same throttle signal. But there can be an effect on steering when you have a system where a difference in control in the motor actually causes the whole vehicle to steer. And this is really the case with Christiana-style cargo trikes, and which are fairly popular and well served by dual motor drives. But in a situation like this, you can clearly see that if one motor is producing controllers.
They
Both
do
motors
use
produce exactly
two
the same torque,
wheels
so
at the
while you're
front and the
cornering,
back. I have no
the
clue
fact
that
that the
only
outside
one
motor
motor.
produces more power is irrelevant. They're both producing the same torque. It has no effect on
But
how it handles
that will be good
as you
for
steer.
industrial, business,
industry,
business. So sometimes people like to walk in. It's not good. Yeah, it's much danger than the other way. But yeah, I could. Yeah. I don't want to manage to survive as well, but it's just things that you have to tell you. Yeah, without walking, that's thing. That practice is no good.
Feel a little bit more breaking the handlebars out, but it's nothing at all that really affects
Yeah,
your ability
that's good for a little bit heavier. Yeah, item. That's good. Yeah. For me, my each one is front wheel. Yeah, not the back one. Go City is back tire. Back tire. And I need to do work on that one. I know, that'd be good. I want to get it done. Because everything is right in my front of my face. I can set it up right away like that. But what's happening? It's a little bit more space so I can put it there. I'm just turning the other way around, not backwards. Behind the door. Then the front way, then you just turn. This one you can, spin that a little bit faster, and via this one here. Should be okay, because that's in a slow mode.
Identically matched with the same throttle response, and then you're running motors that are perfectly matched as well. So we ran into one situation with a friend of mine who runs a business where she designs and makes Christiana-style cargo trikes like this. And because of the position of the disc brakes, it was the case that the motor on the second side gets flipped around. So it's flipped by speed, but it's still spinning in the forward direction. The motor controller has to be running in reverse. That's fine. We can have a forward reverse switch on the motor controller. But even though they were nominally the same motor, because of the split
same
in the whole
time, that kind of thing. You get the motor, two different motor kind of thing.
It resulted in being able to constantly feel a little bit of a steering push from the one motor that had a higher unloaded speed and wanted to go a little bit faster than the other one. So with torque-based motor controllers, you don't run into this as long as you ensure that they have the same throttle mass.
No, not for me, it's not translating. No.
But it's something to be mindful of with a more standard voltage
two-wheeler with motors in it.
So
they'll be a little bit caught because they're both the
here's
motors.
where this slideshow comes to an end. So really there's just three things to drive home in this message, which is that if you are considering a multi-motor drive system, first to check that there isn't a single motor that will work just as well. You need to have one of these reasons I covered in the whole introductory section to justify the additional complexities and costs and various penalties you have with the dual motor.
My tire, mine is, exactly, right inside. You don't know if there's a motor there. There's a motor, there's a cover, like a tire cover. Exactly. You could call it a mag wheel. The mag wheel, the three-wheeler mag wheel kind of thing.
More modern motor controller.
Depends on the all-weather tire.
Don't think of having a slow motor for climbing hills and a fast motor for going on the flat. Really, ideally, two motors, one of which they're three wheels.
We managed to behave on this one a little bit, but it's just the social media kind of stuff. That's the only thing with kind of stuff. Then there's a no, not that one down there.
Uphill to have high torques, run both motors, and the load gets shared equally between them, which is the most efficient way to do it.
Lucas is the one. Lucas is my vehicle that I used in the arcade.
So this brings us to an end of the meeting. Thanks again for the patience of all of you who stuck around for the first bit, and I'm a bit bummed that it couldn't
Lucas is racing the vehicle in the like something like that in a mall, Metrotown mall. Different.
Vehicle in the works. You can now look at the performance of your system using the combined A+B feature of our motor simulator, and then I wish you the best of luck in your multi-motor endeavors. Great. What I'm going to do now is
rather than other numbers,
some of the comments here and just see if there are any questions
with the vendor who the agency does that.
That makes sense to address that I didn't cover inside the
presentation. It was more in the facility, then now he's left. Now it's in the transit. We're not going to do this one yet. It's just
whichever one I want to address here. So
see the red streak how far away. Oh, we got still a long way. Still a long way, yeah. Yeah, that's like they do pro, yeah, we're getting closer, then you just keep on recording, maybe you might get unusual recording on the rope, yeah.
Thanks for taking me a while to scroll through all of these. And I'm sorry to everyone who we helped do dual motor e-bike systems before we had this cycle analyst splitter. But yeah, it definitely does make everything going forward a lot easier. And we know that some of the people, we've got to be understood in principle what needed to be done for a dual motor hookup, but got a little bit confused with the actual mechanics of splitting up the one control command to these two different motor controllers.
Oh, we're below, right below the party team there.
Excited to give a talk about in the near future. So I'm going to set that up as a, I think we can have a poll at the end of the video so that you guys can kind of vote with what you're most interested in. But that includes one that I'm really keen to do is a deep dive into understanding motor efficiency.
Oh, that's him. Yeah, the blue and the red YouTube. Yeah, that's the result of it. Yeah, it's a picture of him without nothing there, and there's a YouTube symbol in it, and SB1. Yeah, that must be. Yeah, thank you. Your time is appreciated. Idea for future. One cycle, analyze, program, chip, simulated usage capability. Yeah, that's yeah, I guess that's oh yeah, exactly what I'm talking about.
From a purely efficiency analysis, where one has an advantage over the other, that can help guide the decision-making process for people in choosing and selecting motors for their needs.
Yeah, exactly. It's on your screen. Yeah, that's the yeah, exactly.
Here, so let me just paste this one size.
Get one more thing
so yeah, so here's some of the topics that I'd love to go into in some depth. So really talking in detail about motor efficiency, clearing up a lot of the misunderstandings that people have about motor efficiency. So many people look at a dyno curve, they see a point of peak efficiency, and they think that that's some sweet spot or some holy grail zone that the motor
more right into the deep of the things that they're using in there.
Disastrous or non-optimal use of the motor. So much misinformation about motor efficiency that I'd love to talk about. And I'm also really looking forward to an updated presentation all about regenerative braking. So I did a talk, it must have been probably 10 years ago now, at the Electric Vehicle Association here in Vancouver, discussing my early analysis and sort of, I guess a thesis on regen and how the energy that you can recapture from regen is more than the overall clogging drag and losses that you have having a direct drive motor that can do regen. And I'd love to do a more updated current analysis of that and also explain to people how to set up systems for regenerative braking and how to make get most use out of regen. Another topic that comes up fairly often in our email stream are people using hub motors as pedal generators. So some people want to have a fun demo project for power generation and just have people sitting on a bike pedaling a generator in order to have fun music on a bike to power up a vending machine, whatever it is that serves their interest. And this is an area where there's capabilities in our motor simulators really again help predict the optimal design and use of the motor
are everywhere down to within there. It's hard to find it now. So you can get more than 8 in this one, yeah.
Along that line of thinking, we also get much less often, but still significant academic interest, designing all-electric drivetrains. And so an all-electric drivetrain is a setup where instead of your pedals mechanically being linked to the wheel, your pedals are driving a generator, creating electricity. That electricity gets stored into a battery buffer, and then your motor is running.
When I I look at the thing, I see the monitor is just like a vehicle here. Every little bit, everything in the monitor is on the car. How it just sounds so unique way, like you're sitting and everything.
Motors or the electric motors that are out there, and
anti-lock brake, everything, just need it.
And there's a lot of
sitting down in there, classroom in there. It looks like it's live. Yeah, it looks like it. That's why it says live. At any time of the day. Any time of the day to get everybody. In the world to be, you probably have to get in that classroom.
Because the amount of human power available to generate is limited.
It's not getting up to the heavy approach. It's just a
back to the power of the motor. So the round, we're much more sensitive to the round sensitivity with all electric drivetrain. And then going into how to do a custom motor in a motor simulator. So our motor simulator right now has a number of preset motors that I've modeled and dyno tested and characterized. But there's also an option on the motor simulator to do a custom hub. And if our website worked.
Oh, okay. We're back in that same path. Yeah, I thought it was gonna go via that.
Look at that. Life again. So tools, motor simulator. Right at the bottom here we have our custom motor. And how to determine all of these values for any motor that you have, even with pretty basic electrical instrumentation. You don't need a dyno, and then give people the ability to use our motor simulator for custom motors that we haven't yet modeled in our drop-down system. This is a great suggestion. So this is, can we talk about electronic freewheeling for direct drive motors one day? Absolutely. I actually should add that to the list.
Follow 76 one. We never managed to finish it off. Because everything would have the base. Yeah, that one. Yeah, we finished up everything. That's why I was telling you, I can't put everything into one base. I have to move it in more. And I think that was, of the stuff that I had, it was supposed to have more bases till it completely finished. It's not for one base. So that's the different answer. It doesn't say you put in one thing because you wouldn't be there. So that's the first base, and then we went to exit. And she gets some different, raised up from the ground kind of thing. See, that's the thing. And then you want the farming industry kind of thing on that side. Everything a little bit different. And for piggy wiggy kind of thing. See, then random changes on it. And the thing, the radar thing, I put it inside the forward bed and then put it outside. That's the kind of it is. Yeah, very unusual way. Some of things to play with, but even if you're behind, you still try to figure out something. I think you might have missed, from now, it was from, you might have missed two blue screens, it's a very long month. You missed two blood screens, blue screens, but you can't get into the game because they won't let us. You've got stuck in the door, or else we could have did is start it all over again and see what we can do, right? That would have to figure it out. But they knew that we're not gonna get that kind of progress for the first 100 days. Because we have a palm reader now, so either we make it in there or not, or just have a door that's holding it. Yeah, that's the thing that it was. No, it said you won't touch it, it won't be it. That's what happens if I take it, I might have maybe made four blue streaks. But the autumn shop is a spin cycle, yeah, it will still keep on coming. It's still coming, you don't need to worry about that one. No, it's a 2G, yeah, that's what it is. A total non-starter. But even with that round trip efficiency not being so great, there's a lot of things you can do with an all-electric drivetrain that in some situations may still result in you having better net mileage from an electric drivetrain than a mechanical one. One of those things is that you can sit there and make electricity with just stop sign or a red light. Or when you're going downhill on a normal light, you're just coasting.
and the human power is kind of useless. With the electric drivetrain, you can still continue to generate electricity, so even though you're not, the electricity you generate is not coming back 100% to the motor, you can save power for a longer portion of your ride. And given the fact that most of the power in any bike comes from the battery rather than the human anyway, there's benefits of more optimized mechanical layout, eliminating the air resistance and drag and complexity that you have to factor into the mechanical linkage, can potentially make a vehicle that is more efficient overall than one that doesn't have this. So what's this question? How would you set max range and battery current on a dual motor setup? That's a good question.
And then comes to the center. You might get
I
some
would always set it to the max of what the battery can have. It really has nothing to do with whether you're dual motor or single motor. And the point of regen is to come to a stop more so than to put energy back in the battery pack. And so you want the ability to come to a stop as much as your vehicle needs you to come to a stop. So then you would limit your battery current simply based on what the safe short-term amperage have flowing back into the cells. And the general safe number for this is 1. So if you have a 20 amp hour battery, you're probably fine with 20 amps of regen current. You wouldn't charge the battery from empty to full at 20 amps. That would definitely reduce the cycle life. But short excursions of one
Electric light was interviewing. Yeah, he went to he did interview with his father too. Yeah, his father took him in a caravan and then first he got the desert part and he just took a sample like a talking kind of review talk. But his bike and he said he's talking about his bike, how did you manage to he did the upgrade and motor and everything on his bike. He has a bike, but not the motor, but the upgrade like the seats and like the dashboard and everything. He's interviewing how did you review for his father, how you maintain your bike like that. Yeah, so they're driven in the desert where the cactus kind of thing like that. He just mentioned, he's talking the tire one. He needs that one. Yeah, there's cactus thing. Yeah, like flapping your tires. Yeah, he did some update on that one too.
DIY bike installation and what techniques we can have to make the installation robust.
Those things are made for bigger tires, but that one might not work for that one would work for 21 bikes railroad tire. Yeah.
The vibrations that you get on an e-bike are, especially when you're on trips and other kinds of touring and in places where the chat is are not that great.
It's just that this classroom is running just every time. That's why a little bit different. Yeah, this chat is in there.
Electronics that you bring with you on an e-bike will fail because vibrations, fatigues, and cracks.
Mine is you have to have there's a canister, there's a fuel, not fuel, there's something that will makes it hard tire that it doesn't get flat.
A lot of the problems that people have.
That'd be good for mine is 21 by something, railroad tire like that. When we're going, problems in states kind of thing.
And this would be a really good topic to discuss our long and rich experience.
Oh yeah, that's on the other channel.
For doing a robust install that's not vulnerable like that. This question, is there a clutchless easy motor coming? This I've actually been in discussions with ET switching about doing, just like the a version with the lock clutch, and they actually always do an easy motor without a clutch. They sell that to an application where it's on electric wheelchair systems
just going to the beach, see some seashells, turtles, and something there that you can kill and put a pipe.
But for us to do a motor that does regen, like the GMAT motor, it's really important that not only do we just want the clutch, but that we have an axle that can have a spline 12-arm interface, because we're not comfortable using just axle flats and conventional
Oh no, he's not cutting,
for regen systems.
Someone else upstairs. No, there's no cutting. Never.
Motor to do regen. So yeah,
yeah, that's why I don't like that people that I should be doing, not for other people.
So here's a question. How about the front wheel meters expected out of the wheel? Then the wheel, a front wheel, the tongue is skidding out on a typical bike geometry because you have, you know, 3/4 of the weight of the rider on the rear wheel.
Oh, this is different, right? Yeah, not Sadler, just in how about front wheel, tractor, no, traction, at speed.
My wheel has it off, but
while,
the kind of pressure to get from people who ride motorcycles.
hard on
I don't really ride motorcycles.
lower center, and gravity maybe, flat tires, flat tires, flat tires. Flat tires are on the e-bike. You know, flat tires like a mountain bike. Yeah, mountain bikes. And the other, yeah, flat tires were mountain bikes, and the other ones were bikes. Yeah.
You can always have
Just
some
like,
amount of torque.
so long is like BMX, exactly.
You just size the maximum torque, you